This is the Troll Patrol. Live. With Justin Freakin.
Welcome to the Troll Patrol Live. I'm not high enough. Is there an echo? I thought I was hearing an echo. I thought I had another window open. I think it's good. Is it good? Anonymously, yes, it's just another day, goddammit. Okay, we're all good. That's the meme fucking... That's the meme for the day. What am I thinking? I should have it handy at all times. School just fucking started. We've got a Trump town hall at 9 from Pennsylvania, but it's on Fox News. I don't know if they're going to carry it live. I don't know if the Trump campaign is going to have the event on their website. That's what I'm hoping for, that I'll just go to like Trump's Rumble and the town hall will be there. It's hosted by Sean Hannity, but it's airing on Fox News. I don't know if we will have access to it just because I don't have access to Fox News Channel unless Fox News Channel goes live. Now we are just under a week away, or just over a week away. A week from tomorrow, we have the presidential debate. Fun. Everyone's talking about a shooting that happened in Georgia, but a teacher was shot in the Bronx. Fun times here. Mass shooting USA. We're going to talk about the Chase Bank glitch. We're going to talk about Tucker Carlson and his Nazi propaganda. RT this morning had this really weird news piece. We're going to watch it. And it caught me off guard. I'm like, they were talking about how like the United States trying to pull that Russiagate shit again. And I was like, what are you talking about? Like, this is a weird thing just to be out there. And apparently it was preemptive for the announcement that the DOJ was going to make later on in the day. Kim Jong-un had a government that oversaw some record flooding in North Korea. Apparently wasn't handled well by the officials, so Kim Jong-un executed him. Some idiots went down to Peru and tried to go up on an uncontacted tribe. And I think you know how that story ends. Does everyone know how that story ends? I'm going to tell you here later on in the show. They found love. Warlord, good evening. Quesadilla, good evening. School just fucking started. It just fucking started. A YouTuber went to the apartments in Colorado that the right is saying has been taken over by Venezuelan gangs to investigate. The accused gunman who shot down Julio Fulio has been arrested. A trans teen in Massachusetts was attacked. Attacker is being investigated as a hate crime. A suspicious van in LA was parked next to a gas station. Dog the Bounty Hunter is coming in on the case of the missing teen, Sebastian Rogers. You got $500,000 to buy Snicks. You got half a milli? I know where you can buy half a house. I can get you half a house for half a milli. John Cena does not want kids. Eagles player is apparently very upset about going down to Brazil to play because he can't bring his kids. All that and a lot freaking more tonight. No, it wasn't Dog. It was what was Dog's woman? She died. Llama, good evening. What was it? Chastity or some shit like that? Beth died. Dog did not die. Mrs. Dog. No, not a dog. Not a dog. That would be sad. Dog, the big bad dog. I'm not high enough for this, and I know you know what the first story is tonight. God damn it! Yeah, she had tig old bitties. She had the kind of bitties that you like to give a titty slap to.
A titty slap!
Come on now.
I don't want to do it. I don't want to do it. The bounty dog dude's wife died. Yeah. Like 10 years ago, too. That's been like a long time ago. I think he's been married to somebody else now. He got him a new big tittied woman. I assume. I don't know. I can't. I'm speaking for Dog over here. I don't know shit about Dog. I don't want to do it. Just another day. This time in Georgia. Apparently a suspect in custody. This is usually not the case. The suspect usually killed by the cops or dies by suicide.
We start tonight with an all too familiar scene in American life. This time in Winder, Georgia, about 50 miles from Atlanta.
Of course he was white.
4 weeks.
Well, school shooters tend to be white.
To the school year there, gunfire erupted at Appalachia High School. Here's what we know. At least 4 people are dead, 2 students and 2 teachers, and 9 injured. The suspect, a 14-year-old student who is alive and in custody and will be charged as an adult.
I don't know why it happened. I may not ever know. We may not ever know. But I ask that you and our community lift up our schools, lift up our public safety, and that, again, we do not let this hateful event prevail.
And let's bring in our Jared Eggleston, who is
Just insert picture from today that I downloaded to use on my thumbnail. I believe that one's Uvalde. No way to prevent this, says only nation where this regularly happens.
following the situation on the ground. Jared, it's good to see you, and I know you were there on the scene so soon after it happened.
A 14-year-old.
About what unfolded at this school today.
Caitlin, good afternoon. It's been an emotional scene out here. As you saw, we just had a press conference. The sheriff here even getting teary-eyed as he talked about where the investigation stands. As you mentioned, they said that a 14-year-old student here at Appalachia High School came in with a gun this morning and began firing. At this point, they said he is in custody and is cooperating with police. They said he really surrendered just as soon as he saw those police. But back to those people who are now dealing with what they witnessed today. We've been talking to a lot of students and family members, and it's been very harrowing out here as they waited for hours to be reunited with their loved ones. And I believe we have a soundbite from a father and son who were reunited.
I started running. He started shooting like 10 times. He shot at least 10 times. And then I ran to the back of the classroom. I dived behind the desk, and my teacher had got in front of me like he was guarding. But like the gunshots were so close to me, like my ears started ringing.
My son actually called me while it was going on inside the classroom. Like I was inside the store and I heard him hollering and screaming and crying.
And there are just so many stories just like that one, Caitlin, of parents just rushing to this school. I got here just a little bit after those reports started coming in.
You were already at the school.
I would say for at least a mile, about 2 miles around the school, there were just cars parked in the middle.
He does look like a child.
Loved ones running to this school to check on their children.
Oh, God, Jared, that's just so tragic to hear. And when you hear that little boy, he is a little boy.
Lazy?
About what he
What's up, friend?
At just a normal day at school, or what was, at least, when he went there in the morning.
It is heartbreaking.
Thank you for sharing that with us and for doing all those interviews. The officials that we just heard from just a little while ago mentioned that this investigation is ongoing. Details are still being figured out. But where exactly, from what you know and what you've heard, where does the investigation stand at this point?
And Caitlin, the investigation, police say that this suspect, this 14-year-old suspect, is cooperating with police. He's been interviewed by the Barrow County Sheriff's Office, it's a local agency here, and also the GBI, the Georgia Bureau of Investigation. They are kind of leading up the investigation at this point, but I will say there are several other agencies on the ground here. The FBI, as well, is also assisting. So police say they are going through just what happened, surveillance video in the school, and they're also asking for any of these parents or families, if they think that they have something, know something about what happened here today, to please reach out to them.
And Jared, what else are we hearing from officials in the area?
So tonight we are going to have a vigil. A lot of people here are shooken up, as you might expect. So we're going to have a vigil here tonight put together by a lot of local people who are wanting to pay their respects for what happened here today. And officials tell us that school will be closed for the rest of the week here at Appalachia High School and in the entire district, just as the school tries to piece together everything and somehow figure out how to go on with the rest of the school year down the road, Caitlin.
And joining, of course, so many schools that have suffered this similar tragedy. I just can't believe just weeks into the school year. But Jared, thank you so much for your reporting. This is a very difficult assignment, and thank you very much for bringing it to us. Stay safe.
It is a uniquely American experience. I believe this video is from inside the school. I believe it says the cops are clearing. It says it's during the mass shooting.
This afternoon, at least 4 people are dead in a mass shooting at a Georgia high school. Authorities and elected officials are now speaking out.
KTLA 5's Kimberly Chang live in our newsroom. She has new details and new reaction. Kimberly?
Hi, the Georgia Bureau of Investigation, which has agents on the scene, is confirming 4 people are dead. 9 have been taken to various hospitals with injuries. The suspected shooter is alive and in custody. Multiple media outlets reporting that the shooter is a 14-year-old male, but it's not clear if he attended the school. And now new video coming in from inside the school. Take a look.
Single file line down this aisle right here after this deputy. Hurry up now, come on, let's go.
What the?
We got a whole school to get evacuated, people. Come on now.
Authorities seen there evacuating a classroom after that mass shooting. A sophomore captured this video showing officers directing them to the exit. The 15-year-old initially thought it was a drill, but said once students knew a shooting really happened, people began crying and trying to find loved ones. Students reported seeing blood on the floor as they were leaving. Now there's video I want to mention that is too graphic to show you, where you can see at least one person on the ground covered in blood, another person trying to help that victim. Here's a listen to what one parent had to say.
My child was in his classroom, and so the shooter was shooting across from the classroom. So his coach had ended up blocking his door and locking the door to prevent the shooter from coming in his classroom. A lot of kids are in shock and crying, and parents, you know, because we didn't think this would ever happen here.
The calls for help came in around 9:30 in the morning, reporting an active shooter on the Appalachia High School campus, which is in Winder, Georgia, about 50 miles northeast of Atlanta. The school was put on lockdown. Students brought outside to the football field. State and federal agencies, including the FBI and ATF, are assisting. Appalachia High School has about 1,900 students. It's not clear the extent of those injuries. Officials addressed the shooting earlier, including the Barrow County Sheriff and U.S. Attorney General. But first, here's Vice President Kamala Harris, who spoke about the shooting at a campaign event in New Hampshire a short while ago.
This is just a senseless tragedy on top of so many senseless tragedies. And it's just outrageous that every day in our country, in the United States of America, that parents have to send their children to school worried about whether or not their child will come home alive.
Obviously, what you see behind us is an evil thing today.
I'm devastated for the families who have been affected by this terrible
thing. Shut up, Garland.
The Justice Department stands ready to provide any resources or support that the Winder community needs in the days ahead.
The Barrow County Sheriff did confirm a suspect is in custody, but didn't provide details on his age. He said there were multiple injuries, but again, not clear the extent of those injuries. A news conference is set to start any moment now. We will bring you the latest in the 3 o'clock hour. Live in the newsroom, Kimberly.
Welcome in, Raiders. Soup, you handsome man. So glad to see you. Content warning if you've never been in here before, like, it's called the Troll Patrol, but we cover, like, the fucking worst news you can possibly cover. There will be aftercare, I promise you. We always get to an animal video at the end, but it's a long road to get there. But we got a lot of fun stuff towards the end of the show. We're going to try to cover Trump at 9 o'clock. He is holding a town hall in Pennsylvania. Of course, we're covering the mass shooting that happened earlier today in Georgia. It was just another day of mass shooting USA. A student described the terror inside the school.
Has been doing a great job of talking to some more students who right now, Brittany, are kind of our eyes and ears until we hear officially from authorities.
Yeah, Christine, and you kind of said this in the past hour, just everyone, you know, on our team just being surprised at the amount of composure and calmness that these students are able to communicate through after everything that they've just been through. I spoke to one student who says that when all of this happened, that he wasn't sure, again, what was happening, but then they got a notification on Smartboard. Now, that is the school's internal communication system. He says at that point, the students were told, go into a hard lockdown. He and others went to a corner of the classroom. Everyone huddled down on the ground together. I'm told that that classroom door was secured. And then later on, of course, once law enforcement made the way through the school and started to do their sweep, going room by room, I'm told that they used a key to unlock that classroom door. Now,
what else would you use?
Spoke with. He said that he heard a lot of loud commotion, and he was surprised because he was listening to music at the time. Listen to his account right here.
Oh, so I just heard gunshots like going off. I had my AirPods on full blast. I was blasting Ken Carson, and I heard like gunshots go off. And
what's Ken Carson?
My friend like pushed me to the ground. I thought it was fake until I heard like more gunshots and screaming. I was like, oh, and then
I was like, oh.
To the side, and they came in there with told us to get our hands up. So we like got out, and we were walking out, and then and like there was a room, and then there was a body, and there was like the gun laying on the ground with like the bullets and the blood.
I would assume those doors are like
students in the past
solid.
Was that when they were exiting, they are telling me that they saw an AK on the floor in the hallway near one of the bodies. Of course, we have heard that 4 tragically lost their lives today, 9 taken to various hospitals. But as they made their way outside of the school to safety,
I've covered way too many of these.
2 of them
been doing this show almost 5 years.
On the floor. Now, I did reach out to the sheriff's office about this. I was just told that as of right now,
we don't know that he's from the school.
Of information that they are sorting through and through all their accounts from witnesses. Right now, they can't confirm that that weapon was used, but also can't rule that out. My source tells me that they are going to look into it, but again, as of right now, they can't confirm or deny whether that AK was on the floor as 2 students.
Yeah, that's why the fucking doors are sturdy.
But again, a lot of these kids that are coming out of the school really just describing the terror of seeing a teacher's body on the floor, multiple people who were killed. This has just been, as you can imagine, a tremendous undertaking for
2 teachers, 2 students.
Process.
9 people injured on top of the 2 people dead. This shooting in Georgia overshadowed the fact that a teacher in Brooklyn was shot earlier today. This is wild. Just, it's such a common occurrence in the United States that it happens multiple times in one day.
Scary moments here at MS 391. Earlier today, there was a teacher in his classroom along with another teacher. They were having lunch at the time. This all happening around noon when suddenly
can't even have lunch anymore.
Pierces the window of the 6th floor here at this building and struck that male teacher in his hand. Take a look. These are some photos of the classroom itself and the window that was shattered as a result. At this time, crime scene and detectives are searching for where that bullet might have come from. They did recover the actual bullet inside of the classroom, so they have that evidence.
How in the fuck?
At this point. As for the teacher, who we're told is in his 30s, was taken to an area hospital. He is okay. He was actually grazed in the hand, but miraculous that he wasn't more seriously hurt.
He got trumped.
While the female teacher was seated at the time. There were no children whatsoever here at the school. Classes, of course, will be resuming tomorrow for the school year. So lots of parents in the neighborhood and fellow teachers left shaken up by all of this. Some of the teachers left early today. They were told to go home, and they really were having a hard time shaking what happened here earlier this afternoon.
Yeah.
For an update from the deputy chief here in the Bronx to give us another clue into their investigation to where it stands right now. But so far, no arrests have been made.
Okay, here's the thing, Flash. That seems like it's very random. It seemed like it probably ricocheted off of something that wasn't even meant for that teacher. Because, like, you gonna shoot up into a window? What, that was like a 3rd story, 4th story? And you know the teacher is there next to the window? Oh no. Plot twist, Deadshot took the shot. We're gonna get a lot of this done before we do the Trump thing. Trying to let's go ahead and do this. Okay. So there are blue dots popping up in like battleground states. There's like some sort of blue dot campaign.
Well, the ads make it clear the presidential campaigns believe there's good reason to be spending money in Omaha.
And a new grassroots effort aims to spread the word on why votes here are critical to the election. KETV News Watch 7's Aaron Hegarty has this story. Aaron?
Yeah, Bill, Julie, it might be the simplest campaign sign there's ever been, a blue dot painted on a white sign. And if it makes you wonder what's that all about, that's the point. Nebraska might not be a swing state, but one electoral vote from the 2nd Congressional District is considered to be up for grabs.
Yep. The Omaha District.
It started with whatever one couple had on hand.
I had a can of blue paint that I had painted something for our garden, and we had that leftover yard sign.
Which got the attention of a next-door neighbor.
We were yard number 2, and the blue dots have exploded. It's so fun seeing the enthusiasm around the blue dots. It gives such an energy to the area.
One sign turned into 10 for the neighbors, then they ordered supplies for 400. Now those are all gone. And there's a purpose behind it all.
We were shocked how many people didn't realize how it works, that we get our own vote here. And they're like, well, we live in Nebraska, it's a red state, I'm not going to bother to vote. And we're like, oh, we've got to do something.
All states except Nebraska and Maine are winner take all. In Nebraska, 2 of 5 electoral votes go to whoever wins the state's popular vote. But each of the 3 congressional districts all award a vote based only on who wins in that district.
We're not in Kansas, or we're not in Missouri, or we're not in Iowa, we're in Nebraska, and actually one vote could make a huge difference. And our district, CD2 here, in the Omaha kind of area, the blue dot, could literally decide this election. It could be that close.
Now they've ordered supplies for 2,000 signs, and they're helping others get going on making their own.
And it's absolutely catching on. It's wonderful what one person or 2 people can do.
Really, Jason and Ruth would prefer that the country moves to 1 vote per person, doing away with
yes!
college. But until then,
good Lord, yes.
To it in Nebraska and Maine than anywhere else, and that's such a privilege.
This will be the first presidential election after the boundaries of the 2nd Congressional District were redrawn. It now includes Saunders County and fewer voters in Sarpy County. In the last 4 elections, the 1 electoral vote went to Joe Biden, Donald Trump, Mitt Romney, and Barack Obama. Back to you.
Wow. So that 1 vote went to Obama in 2008, Romney in 2012, Trump in 2016, and Joe Biden in 2020. Minty, good evening. That's a hell of a swing there. Let's talk about the Chase Bank glitch. Apparently, it really fucked a lot of people over. It wasn't actually a glitch.
The new viral TikTok trend that some users are calling a money glitch or free money hack, it's actually having some serious consequences. Here's what it is. It involves people depositing fraudulent checks into their Chase Bank accounts.
Yeah, that's not a glitch.
Drawing the money before it's flagged. Well, that's actually fraud. For more on how it started online, let's bring in
that's not a glitch.
And trends reporter Callan Rosenbach. Callan, good morning. Thank you so much for joining.
Both of them, both of their outfits. What the fuck is going on here? And what is that face she's giving me? Ma'am, don't look at me that way.
Joining us, good to see you. So how did something that is actually fraud turn into this trend or something viral? When did this glitch start getting all these views?
Good morning, Savannah. So at the end of August, so just a few days ago, people began saying that they had found a quote-unquote loophole at Chase Banks where they were depositing checks basically in their own name, depositing it into their own accounts. And these were checks for, astronomical amounts, $30,000, $40,000. And they were saying that, Chase will basically front that money while they wait for the check to clear. And so people were withdrawing the money from these fraudulent checks, and they called it a money glitch. What they didn't realize is that they were going to have to pay that money back when the check inevitably bounced. And so it wasn't a money glitch. This is actually check fraud. And Chase actually released a statement saying, please please don't do this. This is not a glitch. This is a fraud. And,
yes,
they're aware of the situation and they're trying to handle it to the best of their abilities.
What are the consequences for someone who does something like this?
Well, they're going to be, if they don't find themselves in legal trouble and find themselves, facing a case with Chase in the court of law, they're going to be on the hook for a lot of money. In some cases, which we haven't verified whether they're legitimate or not, but some cases people have claimed that they owe $10,000, $30,000, and they're going to owe all this money back to Chase. So there's one, the aspect of committing check fraud, which is going to be obviously a criminal offense. But then there's the other aspect of this, which is you're now going to owe all this money that you reportedly deposited into your account and that you don't have to cover.
Callan, I know in addition to this becoming...
Yeah, and Laura, when Chase steals from you, it's all okay.
Getting some views online. There's also a big pile on to set the record straight in this particular instance, right?
Yes, there is. On TikTok...
Is it really fraud if it's Chase Avalon?
Saying this is not a loophole. This is a crime, and there's a lot of people.
Free money glitch.
Please don't do this. This is fraud. I think a lot of people were just unaware, or maybe it's younger people who are just getting their first bank accounts, who are just sort of learning how to spend and save money, who thought, oh, this is a way to get fast cash, and their fellow TikTokers are saying that's not the case. This is a crime. Please don't do this.
Yeah, definitely not any type of glitch. It's just how it works as checks are being processed. Okay. Callan, thank you very much. Good to see you.
Thanks for watching. Stay updated about breaking...
Shut up, Lester. Curiouser gave me a whole lecture about how much she likes Lester. I love it. I mean, hey, at least... Lester's not bringing on fucking neo-Nazis on his show to interview him. Tucker Carlson has been accused of airing pro-Nazi propaganda on his show as Elon Musk promotes it as worth watching. Self-proclaimed historian Daryl Cooper claimed Winston Churchill was the villain of the Second World War. And that millions of people ended up dead in Nazi concentration camps. Ended up dead. Can't make it go away, I'm sorry. Tucker Carlson has come under fire for platforming a guest who claimed Winston Churchill was a villain of the Second World War, that millions of people ended up dead in Nazi concentration camps. On Monday, the right-wing media personality hosted self-proclaimed historian Daryl Cooper on his podcast, a man who has been accused of being a Nazi apologist for comments which appear sympathetic towards Adolf Hitler. The 2-hour conversation was condemned by many on social media, including Liz Cheney, whereas Elon Musk promoted the video to his 196.5 million followers, calling it very interesting. The controversial tech billionaire appears to have since deleted his post. During the podcast show, former Fox News host Carlson, who held Cooper, the most important historian in the United States, asked him how he would assess Churchill. Cooper, explaining that he was being a little hyperbolic, said, "I thought Churchill was the villain of the Second World War. He didn't kill the most people. He didn't commit the most atrocities. I think when you get into it and tell the story right, you see he was primarily responsible for what the war becoming what it did." Well, Churchill was bad, but not necessarily for his actions in World War II. That's a whole other conversation. You want to get a little taste of his Nazism? Is anybody even sharing the fucking video out? Here we go. Oh, that's the whole goddamn thing. Yeah, give me. Yeah, this is the motherfucker he brought on. He looks like a Nazi.
Look, they put themselves into a position, and Adolf Hitler is chiefly responsible for this, but his whole regime is responsible for it, that when they went into the East in 1941, they launched a war where they were completely unprepared to deal with the millions and millions of prisoners of war, of local political prisoners and so forth that they were going to have to handle. They went in with no plan for that. And they just threw these people into camps, and millions of people ended up dead there. You know, you have like letters as early as July, August 1941 from commandants of these makeshift camps that they're setting up for these millions of people who are surrendering or people they're rounding up. And so it's 2 months after, a month or two after Barbarossa was launched. And they're writing back to the high command in Berlin saying, we can't feed these people. We don't have the food to feed these people. And one of them actually says, rather than wait for them all to slowly starve this winter, wouldn't it be more humane to just finish them off quickly now?
Nazis say that shit. That was Tucker Carlson platforming a Nazi. Cooper, after acknowledging this doesn't mean he believes Hitler was World War II's protagonist, went on to explain how the Nazis launched a war that were completely unprepared to deal with. Conservative commentator Eric Erickson said, didn't expect Tucker Carlson to become an outlet for Nazi apologetics, but here we are. Who didn't expect it? Anti-hate organization Anti-Defamation League said Tucker Carlson's praise of Nazi apologist Daryl Cooper is an insult to the memory of the 6 million Jews who were murdered by Hitler's Nazi regime. The Republicans Against Trump account also chimed in, saying Tucker Carlson just hosted a Nazi apologist to explain why Hitler wasn't so evil and how Winston Churchill was the real bad guy. This is a reminder that Tucker Carlson got a major speaking slot at the RNC, and he speaks regularly with Donald Trump. This morning I woke up, I saw this story from Russia Today, RT, saying Russiagate returns. Fragwitz, good evening. I thought this was very odd. Especially because it says, ha ha, RT responds. You can't see it down at the bottom, but it says, ha ha, RT responds to CNN report on election meddling. I didn't even know CNN did a report on election meddling, but I feel like this was preemptive for what was getting ready to come later on in the day.
Well, back to our lead story now. Western media is reporting the Biden administration plans to take legal action against RT News Organization, accusing the channel of interference in the upcoming presidential election. That's despite the fact RT has been banned in the West. Here's our response.
Dear CNN, we certainly have a response. Actually, we have several, but we couldn't decide on one. We even thought of running an office poll, so here they are.
Oh, wow.
Ha. 2. Ha 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 ha. 3. Ah.
This is kind of funny.
4. 2016 called and it wants its cliches back. 5. 3 things are certain in life: death, taxes, and RT's interference in the U.S. elections. 6. We gotta earn our Kremlin paycheck somehow. 7. Somewhere, Secretary Clinton is sad that it's not because of her.
Tara Reid joins me here in the studio to discuss. Many thanks for coming in, Tara. So we have another wave of accusations against RT reportedly coming from Washington. What's your take on these election interference allegations? I feel like we've been here before.
Oh, I know. It's just nonsense, isn't it? It's like, you know...
Wait a minute, Tara Reid!
That they try to cling on to the Russiagate narrative. And basically, it's a
Didn't you move to Russia?
The Democrats have a very weak candidate, which is Kamala Harris. And so they're trying to cling on, even though the Steele dossier was found to be faked, that how they said that Russia interfered with the 2016.
Oh, no, the Steele dossier wasn't fake. Like, it was Oppo research, and like, every bit of the things were like, you know, to this degree of certainty, we believe blah, blah, blah happened. Like, it's not that the dossier was fake. Like, they take advantage of stupid people. She may be stupid herself. She may think that the dossier was fake.
Being fake. They've had to backtrack on all of that. And now they're coming out with these new allegations, you know, with now saying that RT's interfering. How can they interfere when they've been taken off all the cable news networks and it's hard to find them? I mean, for Americans to find...
Not hard.
Actually have to go to alternative...
She moved to Russia, yes.
Rumble and things like that to find it.
It seems so desperate, doesn't it? But timing-wise...
I think they are in Moscow.
Before the vote even begins. Are you surprised by the allegations, or...?
No, it's just par for the course. You know, it's like when they had us, some of us that were in the St. Petersburg forum, it was Scott Ritter, myself, and some others. They went ahead and put it on the front of the New York Times.
Scott Ritter?
Said that we were interfering, again, pushing that thing that we're interfering with the election. We don't need to interfere. No one needs to interfere with the election because really it's a magician's choice.
This is the one that accused Joe Biden of
Kamala Harris or Donald Trump, but really
raping her,
taking over, and it's the military-industrial complex.
And look, I believe her. Her story sounds absolutely plausible.
Because really, the outcome doesn't make a whole lot of difference to Russia.
It's such a stretch, though, isn't it, knowing that RT can't even broadcast on US television screens anymore. Do you think the public are going to buy these claims?
You know, I really don't. I mean, talking to Americans, and I was recently back in America.
She said, and this would have been like, I think it was 90. I might be getting my timeline wrong. It was around 90. She said that Joe Biden pushed her up against the wall, and that he thought that there was, you know, something like he was trying to like mac on her, and he stuck his hand down her pants and stuck his finger, penetrated her with his finger, and that she pushed him off and said no. And he apologized and was like, "Oh, I'm sorry. I thought that you were coming on to me," and then like never brought it up again. But I think he fired her not long after that or something. So that is totally plausible of some senator when maybe he was between wives. This was before Jill. He thought there was vibes coming from her, and that like she was into it or something. And once she like clearly said no, he backed off, and like he still raped her. It's still not a good thing. I believe her. I believe her accusation.
America, about 80% of Americans really don't believe the mainstream media. Now, Merrick Garland doesn't have the best reputation.
Politician is handsy for 200.
Flat out, he's a criminal and belongs in prison. And those are some, you know.
Fox, good evening.
For Merrick Garland. Personally, as you know, I've filed a lawsuit against the DOJ for the weaponization.
Sigh.
I also.
How do you pronounce it?
For a criminal investigation.
How are you tonight?
And his corruption, nothing's happened. So you have this one-sided lawfare going on. If you're asking me to follow up on what I said, I believe that Tara Reid was raped by Joe Biden.
Come on, man.
And I also believe that she's probably being taken advantage of by Russia.
to benefit the Democrats. The Democrats don't have the numbers right now, and they're desperate to try to hang on to power and to keep the proxy war going because it's lining the pockets of weapons manufacturers and politicians.
We understand that the CNN article indicates that RT was asked to comment on this accusation, but the piece went live just 3 minutes after the CNN request was sent, so we really didn't give RT proper time to respond. We did respond, but they have...
Also, coming up, we're going to do the Trump town hall in about 15 minutes.
Well, I think that's typical of CNN or CSNBC. You have to understand, too, like Matt Taibbi and Michael Schellenberger, those reporters, exposed how CNN,
bastions of journalism,
MSNBC are 70% infiltrated by CIA. So they're basically, when you see something out of the New York Times, Washington Post, CNN, MSNBC,
I don't like this statement that they're infiltrated by the CIA. Is there a revolving door between the military-industrial complex? Does Lockheed Martin, Boeing, all those companies stand to gain from having analysts on MSNBC the same way they invest money in commercials when they don't, they don't actually do anything that's consumer-facing? That's what she's talking about but like the idea that the CIA is like plotting to go and plant people on MSNBC and plant stories is absurd on its face, and you should laugh at it. But there's a tinge of truth to it because it ultimately comes down to capitalism and the capitalistic incentive for these companies to be represented on these cable news networks, to have their views represented, to smack down a leftist point of view. But it's not that the CIA is actually directly sending somebody to do something nefarious on the network. It's the capitalistic incentive, and the way the money flows just gets people to say the correct viewpoint that gets them put on the cable news shows and put on the board of Boeing and Lockheed Martin. Yada yada. I hope I summarized that.
Looking at intelligence documents, basically. It's not even news anymore. It's not even meeting press media anymore. And you have to remember, too, RT has a wonderful reputation with a lot of people in the United States. Their documentaries have won awards. RT's reporting in the past won awards. So we're just in a very dark time right now.
I like RT.
That as soon as there's
have a lot of good content
in the United States, perhaps, things will get better.
Let's talk about RT's official response. It's very tongue-in-cheek. It's really just highlighting how ridiculous those claims are.
Raytheon, that's another one.
His response will be perceived by people if they ever get to hear it.
I think it'll be seen as it is, tongue-in-cheek, because it is, and I can understand taking that position because,
it's not a rally. It's a Fox News thing. It's a town hall.
How can they have any influence when they're banned on most of the social media platforms?
I'd give them, if they're not talking about Russia,
from it, they're banned on most TV.
Their content's pretty good.
People, sometimes some of them don't even know who RT is.
You're not talking about foreign affairs.
2016,
they do some good coverage on the U.S.
of information warfare during the presidential election. I remember it well. It's continued to do so each time.
Oh, I thought it was Russia Today.
Anywhere near the ballot. Would you consider? What do you think of this strategy? Is it a strategy?
Exactly. They're great about reporting on the nefarious shit the U.S. does.
At the wall is what they call it. See what sticks. And they've been using the Russia narrative, trying to propagate this Cold War into a hot war for a while. And
I was right? I figured I was wrong.
That's their big defense. If someone politically steps away from...
You totally could have told me it was the Russia Times. I would have gone with it.
They even called Tucker Carlson a Russian asset, who's very much a patriot and very much,
She just called Tucker Carlson a patriot. I just showed you Tucker Carlson being a complete fucking Nazi.
Very much entrenched with the Republican Party and the, other conservatives. So it's just interesting. But again, the Democrats need the distraction.
Thank you, clinically. Keep me in check.
Popularity right now. And they're being seen as what they are, which is the warmonger party.
Yeah, they just want people to be talking about Russia, Russia, Russia. But the report that claims our coverage, RT's coverage, is influencing US voters. But I suppose one could argue, doesn't CNN's report do the same thing?
Exactly. CNN, MSNBC are very slanted. How many of those reporters do you see, for instance, in Ukraine, in the parts of Ukraine that need support? Like, you don't see that. You don't see any of that.
I mean, you got in Ukraine that needs support.
For instance, they don't report on the children that were killed in eastern Ukraine and things like that. They don't report from the ground at all, except they just from a distance give this biased reporting to kind of continue getting the aid to this proxy war.
For anyone who might be on the fence about CNN's report and think, oh, well, yeah, maybe RT...
I like the anger.
Washington hasn't provided, nor CNN has provided any real evidence to show RT's interference.
PSW.
Why do you think...
I'd vote for Jesse the Body.
Well, I think what's happening now is they want to silence voices, right? They want to silence the...
He's endorsed Kamala Harris.
...real journalism and that are speaking against the narrative. So this is a mechanism that Merrick Garland is using, like a fishing expedition, to say, okay, there's going to be interference with the Russian election. I mean, with the American election by Russians. But really what they're saying...
Tara Reid, you deserve a titty slap.
People are actually in America.
Consensual.
Come on now.
Wouldn't want you to feel violated. The DOJ came down with charges against several media organizations, accuses Russian state media of enlisting right-wing influencers to meddle in the election. This is
means that the Russian government and the Justice Department is seizing 32 internet domains, that the Russian government and the Russian-sponsored activists
Merrick Garland
to engage in a covert campaign
Attorney General
and influence the outcome of our country's elections. As alleged in our court filings, President Vladimir Putin's inner circle, including
I want somebody to take a screenshot of Merrick Garland and the fact that clinically says 10 out of 10 would.
Sergei Kirennikov directed Russian public relations companies to promote disinformation and state-sponsored narratives as part of a program to influence the 2024 U.S. presidential election. An internal planning document created by the Kremlin states that as a goal of the campaign,
has it been a slow week?
Russia's preferred outcome in the election. The online infrastructure used by the Russian public relations company, known as the Social Design Agency, or SDA, and related actors, included what are sometimes referred to as cyber-squatted domains. These websites were designed to appear to American readers as if they were major U.S. news sites like the Washington Post or Fox News. But in fact, they were fake sites. They were filled with Russian government propaganda that had been created by the Kremlin to reduce international support for Ukraine, bolster pro-Russian policies and interests, and influence voters in the United States and in other countries. Internal documents of the Kremlin describe the content as, quote, bogus stories disguised as newsworthy events, close quote. This malign influence campaign has been referred to as doppelganger. The Russian public relations companies drove viewers to these websites by deploying influencers and paid social media advertisements. They also created fake social media profiles, posing as U.S. citizens.
Oh, I totally believe that.
On social media platforms with links to the sites. According to SDA's records, it actively sought to, quote, eliminate the possibility of detection of the Russian footprint.
And here's the thing, okay? Like, I totally believe that's going on. But I totally believe the United States is doing it too. You can't tell me the United States isn't doing it in Russia, isn't doing it in China. You know, we're not doing it in fucking all these Middle Eastern countries that we're interfering in. God damn, you can't tell. We were all over the fucking Arab Spring and shit. Federal law enforcement agencies have seized 32. Well, it's not just Voice of America. I mean, that's just over. That's like RT. That's our version of RT. We are totally doing bots and fake social media accounts and fake news stories and shit. Absolutely doing it to other countries. Federal law enforcement agencies have seized 32 Russian-backed websites. Prosecutors say were designed to sow disinformation and discord ahead of the 2024 elections and to boost Donald Trump's campaign. Separately, 2 employees of Russia's state-controlled media network, RT, have been criminally charged with allegedly launching a $10 million propaganda scheme that enlisted popular right-wing social media influencers. The allegations, revealed in warrants and unsealed indictments, are evidence of Russia's attempts to engage in a covert campaign to interfere and influence the outcome of our country's elections. The scope of the alleged efforts make clear the ends to which Russian government, including at its highest levels, is willing to go to undermine our democratic process. Court filings allege that Russian President Vladimir Putin's allies directed Russian public relations companies to promote disinformation and state-sponsored narratives with websites echoing Russian disinformation and propaganda intended to suppress international support for Ukraine and influence voters ahead of the 2024 election. 2 Russian nationals who work for Russian state-controlled media outlet Konstantin Kalinskikov and Elena Afanasova were also charged with conspiracy to violate the Foreign Agents Registration Act and conspiracy to commit money laundering. Prosecutors allege they relied on a Tennessee-based company and contracted with U.S.-based social media influencers to target specific demographics and regions as part of a calculated effort to subvert the election. That company, Tenet Media, which is not mentioned by name in the indictment, includes a constellation of well-known right-wing influencers. They include Tim Pool, Dave Rubin, and Benny Johnson, among others. Lenny, no way I butchered those names. RT employees helped publish nearly 2,000 English-language videos on TikTok, Instagram, X, and YouTube, where they have racked up 16 million views. The companies and influencers never disclosed to the influencers or their millions of dollars its ties to RT and the Russian government, and instead claim they used a private investor who was in fact a fictitious persona. The charges do not represent the end of the investigation. In a statement on X, Tim Pool and Benny Johnson, both incorrectly saying that the indictment was leaked, claimed that they were unwitting victims under what the indictment alleges. We are disturbed by the allegations in today's indictment, which make clear that myself and other influencers were victims in this alleged scheme, Johnson wrote. My lawyers will handle anyone who states or suggests otherwise. In remarks last month, Deputy Attorney General Lisa Monaco said that Putin and his proxies are relying on increasingly sophisticated efforts to interfere with elections, including targeting specific voter demographics and swing state voters in an effort to manipulate presidential and congressional election outcome. They're intent on co-opting unwitting Americans on social media to push narratives advancing Russian interests. Russian-backed operatives include cyber attacks and disinformation. Russian-backed operations include cyber attacks and disinformation campaigns through state media such as RT and fake websites and prop social media accounts designed to amplify messaging and distort online conversations, largely targeting polarizing topics like Gaza, immigration, and crime, without Americans questioning where they came from. Kremlin-linked groups are also turning to marketing and communications firms to outsource those campaigns, according to officials. 2 of those firms and their founder and CEO were hit with sanctions in March, with State Department officials accusing them of creating a network of over 60 websites and impersonated genuine news organizations in Europe, then used bogus social media accounts to amplify the misleading content on spoofed websites. RT's response was really funny. And as I said, like, they do good reporting. And as they mentioned, topics like Gaza, they go underreported. We're going to try to watch the Trump town hall. Fox News is live with JD Vance in Arizona. The Trump town hall is in Pennsylvania. It might be a Fox only thing. I was hoping the Trump campaign have it live, but apparently they do not. Might have to get us a stream of Fox News channel. Hold on here. I remember all the different fucking Google accounts I have. Can't get into this one, god damn it. Now I got Smokey coming down here. Ponder Muggy. I think we might have it. Oh, apparently I have ad blocking software interfering with the page. It won't let me view it. Hold on. But I think I got it if I can turn off the ad blocker here. Gotta allow ads on the Fox News. Well, the player doesn't work on this, God damn it. I'll find it. It was weird that it says like fucking they're covering it here. I don't even know where my ad blocker is. Because it says it's live, it says it's Sean Hannity. News channel. Smokey, god damn it.
North Carolina and other places a lot sooner than that. So
boom.
I think we're going to be very well set up to do a great job. And do we love Pennsylvania?
Mitochondria, Curiouser.
Let me ask you.
Sorry, it took me a little bit to get us a stream.
Mr. President, let me ask you this. Between this is a very tough interview. One thing else.
Totally not a cult.
We did great in 2016. We did much better in 2020. We got millions of more votes. But there has never been enthusiasm like we have now. I mean, I see it all over. There's never been anything like it. And I hear the polls.
Apparently, a new YouGov poll says they are up in enthusiasm.
It's hard to believe because, first of all, they've been so bad. They've done such a bad job, but that's why the enthusiasm's so good, because they never had anything to compare it by. You know, I ran and I didn't have anything at all. I just was a successful businessman, and we did a good campaign. But the next time we had something special. We could talk about what we did, but we never could imagine we'd have borders where 20 million people are poured into our country. Many criminals from all over the world are coming into our country. They're coming from jails, from not just South America, from all over the world. They're coming in at levels that nobody's ever seen. They're coming.
That's the shottier too, isn't it?
To come out of all countries. They had almost 180 countries represented over the last number of months. 180. Most people don't know that you have that many countries. They're emptying out their prisons and jails. They're emptying out their mental institutions and insane asylums. They're emptying out the sickest people, and they're emptying all into the United States. And you said,
I think there's something up with it.
Have come into the United States in the last 3 years, and I think probably 50 years. There's never been anything like it. These people are so bad. They're so dangerous. What they've done to our country is they're destroying our country, and we can't let this happen. If they won, you'd have not 20 million, you'll have 100 million people. You won't have Social Security, you won't have Medicare, you won't have anything. Already, if you take a look at the numbers, they're filling up and loading up Social Security, Medicare with illegal immigrants that have come into our country, many of them from jails and many of them from very bad places. And we're not going to destroy our country, Sean.
The campaign has been pushing the Venezuelan gang.
Kamala Harris and the comments that she has made about the border, because I think this is important. I want to play her in her own words about this. You're right. We have people, almost 11 million plus. We don't know how many gotaways there are. We have hundreds of known terrorists that have entered the country. We don't know what countries they've come from. We're allowing people in. They've come in from Iraq.
There's a terrorist sitting there with you.
Egypt, Afghanistan, China, tens and tens of thousands, Russia, Venezuela. I don't think they're coming.
You're a fucking terrorist, Sean Hannity.
Maybe some other people are. And we know nothing about them. We haven't vetted them. I scroll the names often on this show of people that have been murdered, people that have been raped, people victims of violent crime. And
good evening.
This is all happening by unvetted Harris Biden illegal immigrants.
Watching the live Trump town hall on Fox News.
Maybe after your answer, but what is your reaction to the?
I'm not high enough for this shit.
I said at the beginning, I said, when I heard they were going to have open borders, they want open borders. She wants open borders. Now she's all of a sudden saying, oh, I think we'll close the borders. She was the border czar, whether you like it or not. But even if you don't want to use that term, she was in charge of the border. It's the worst border in the history of the world, not just here. There's never been a country that allowed 21 million people to come in over a 3-year period. There's never been. And 21 million people, many of whom are from prisons, many of whom are murderers and drug dealers and child traffickers. And by the
worst border in the history of the world.
Trafficking is the biggest, and they're traffickers in women. And they're coming in now, and they're putting them in our Social Security accounts, and they're putting them in our Medicare. And just one thing, if you take a look over the last week, I said this was going to happen, and it's happening. Because these people are tougher than our criminals. Our criminals are nice people by comparison. That's the only good thing. We're showing how nice our criminals are. They came from 22 people recently came from the Congo in Africa. Where do you come from? Prison. What did you do? We refuse to say. We're letting everybody in. We're letting everybody.
They sent Congolese prisoners.
Aurora, in Colorado, where
there's the apartment complex.
Are taking over the whole town.
That didn't happen. The whole town.
The sheriff, who can blame him?
It's the whole town now.
You saw it the other day. They're knocking down doors and occupying apartments of people. The people are petrified, and it's getting worse. And
no, the people at the apartment complex gave a fucking press conference to say you're full of shit.
You look at all over the place. You take a look at Iowa, Idaho, places that never had the problem. They're pouring in. 21 million people, that's bigger than New York, and we have to stop it. And we
wait a minute, I said the debate was on Thursday. It's on Tuesday.
In the history
Let me play for you. And this is really a problem for the campaign, in my view, is early voting's about to start, and I don't know how many Americans are truly familiar with her positions of decriminalizing illegal immigration. and free housing, health care, education. Tim Walz.
Yeah, they're scaring all these old people.
Driver's licenses.
I was so honored today.
And she wants a path to citizenship.
His brother endorsed me.
I saw that.
And his whole family. I saw the picture. And honestly, it was a very nice looking family. But his brother endorsed me, and the whole family endorsed me. I said, who are all the people?
Let me play Kamala.
There's something weird with that guy. He's a weird guy. JD is not weird. He's a solid rock. I happen to be a very...
JD Vance is not weird.
We're other things, perhaps, but we're not weird. But he is a weird guy. He walks on the stage. There's something wrong with that guy. And he called me weird. And then the fake news media picks it up. That was the word of the day. Weird, weird, weird. They're all going... But we're not weird guys. We're very solid people that want our country to be great again. I mean, it's very simple.
Let's play Kamala in her own words on the issue of immigration.
This whole thing about the border, we've been to the border. We've been to the border.
You haven't been to the border.
Soup for my bread line. Not weird. Rock hard man.
I don't understand the point that you're making.
You support giving universal health care, Medicare for all, to people who are in this country illegally?
Let me just be very clear about this. I am opposed to any policy that would deny in our country any human being from access to public safety, public education, or public health, period.
We have to have a secure border, but I am in favor of saying that we're not going to treat people who are undocumented and cross the border as criminals. That's correct.
The border is secure.
Listen, I think there's no question that we've got to critically re-examine ICE and its role and the way that it is being administered and the work it is doing, and we need to probably think about starting from scratch.
So, and now she wants to offer a path to citizenship, which by any definition would be amnesty. Your reaction?
But, well, before you even start with that, of course it's ridiculous. You can't do it. No country could sustain this, but she wants no fracking in Pennsylvania. She wants no fracking.
That is actually not true.
Said it 100 times. There will be no fracking. There will be no fracking. There will be no fracking.
He has refused to
Yes, I could
take a stance on fracking in this election. Hey, look, why is fracking even important?
Who is dangerous. I don't think too smart, but let's see. But she loses her train of thought a lot. She goes...
The time I called into C-SPAN after the debate, they asked me about fracking.
Like any of them? I mean, she did an interview with Dana Bash on CNN. And, you know, I have to tell you, Dana Bash did the debate with Joe Biden with... I used to call him Fake Tapper, but I don't do that anymore. You know why? Because he was very honorable and so was she. And I thought that she would give a fair interview based on the debate because she was fair. I was surprised, to be honest with you. I didn't expect that, but she was fair. I thought I did well. I don't think he did too well. Although a friend of mine said, you shouldn't have done the interview. He's not going to make it. And you know what? He didn't make it. You know, think of this. It's very unfair in a lot of ways. I complain about it. But she ran against him in the primary. She got no votes. And she was the first to leave. 22 people or something like that. And she dropped. She was down to nothing, never even made Iowa. And he got 14 million votes. And
that Nick pussy.
He said, we want you out. And he wasn't going to win, I don't think. I mean, I don't think he was going to win, but we did a good debate. We had a good debate, and it was a fair debate. And he was down like 18 or 19 points after the debate. And I hate mosquitoes. I'm surprised. I didn't think we had. We don't like those mosquitoes running around. We want nothing to do with them. And we want nothing to do with bad politicians that hate our country, too. You want to know the truth. But they went to him and they said, we want you out. You're not going to win. And it was really a coup when you think.
A lot of those people looked really bored.
The person that came in last. I mean, she came in last. She was the first one out of all those people. You had many people that did pretty well. It was actually close at the end. And then in South Carolina, and by the way, New Hampshire was so badly treated by the Democrat Party and by Joe Biden and her. I can't imagine New Hampshire voting for him. Anybody in New Hampshire, because they're watching right now, but anybody in New Hampshire that votes for Biden and Kamala.
This is a sore spot.
I call her a comrade, Kamala, because that's what her ideology is. But you know that she did something after decades and decades and decades. It was Iowa, the first two, Iowa, New Hampshire. And that's the way people thought it was going to be. He didn't want to go to New Hampshire. He didn't want to play the New Hampshire game. And so he went to a different state. We won't mention. It's a great state. I won it by a lot. I love that state.
What?
But he dumped New Hampshire. And I said to people today, who the hell from New Hampshire would vote for this guy? He changed the whole primary system. He changed the whole system because...
Okay, I get it.
And
we're live.
It's going to have a big effect.
I don't know if I can rewind it.
I've done well there, and we really want to win New Hampshire.
Let me go back to the issue, and it's a big issue in the state of Pennsylvania, and you mentioned it. And let me just tell the audience, so everybody is fully aware, is that tonight Fox offered a debate opportunity between you and Kamala Harris, and I was not going to be here, but it was going to be Brett and Martha.
This was supposed to be a debate.
Right. So
I would have preferred. I think he's a nice guy, but I would have preferred a debate.
Thanks a lot.
But this is the best we could do, Sean.
You're stuck with me. Let me though play, but there's a big issue in this state, is the issue of banning fracking. Now, in that, I thought it was a horrible interview and a missed opportunity. Do you know, for 16 minutes, she spoke for 16 minutes and 29 seconds. In that whole interview, the only interview, you and J.D. Vance have done, this is your 36th interview or press conference between the two of you. And we don't know if she supports...
She should go on more friendly media.
Bernie Sanders, that would cost $93 trillion. We don't know if she stands by that. We don't know if she supports...
I think she's yet to do a lot of media appearances because the campaign's just getting going. She's still got a lot of work to do.
Fracking. Now, in the CNN interview, she said, well, I said in 2020 that, I would not ban fracking. CNN had to fact check her and say, no, she never said it. This is what she really said.
Will you commit to implementing a federal ban on fracking your first day in office, adding the United States to the list of countries who have banned this devastating practice?
There's no question I'm in favor of banning fracking. So, yes.
So would you ban offshore drilling?
Yes. And I've, again, worked on that.
Now, correct me.
I feel like she's gotten better, Mox. I hope she has.
Isn't energy, fracking, oil, the lifeblood of the world's economy?
So the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania cannot even take a chance because that's the real opinion from her. Now, the whole country would go down the tubes if you didn't do the fossil fuel thing. It just would go. And you can do all sorts of other things, but you know, Germany tried it, and it lasted for about 9 months, and they were going to go down the tubes entirely. And
she should totally do she should do Martin Maron. She should do The Breakfast Club. She should do Pod Save America.
A lot of things. It's never worked. It never will work. But Pennsylvania...
She should go on TYT.
That answer is true. But she's been there for 20 years. That's what she's been saying for a long time.
You give Rachel Maddow a fucking primetime interview. She needs to make an appearance on Saturday Night Live. One of these, like fucking her and Maya Rudolph need to be on screen together. Yeah, go on, Hassan.
It's your biggest business. And you get a big majority of your income from fracking, and you have somebody that's not going to allow fracking. She's not going to allow it. You can't take the chance. You have no choice. You've got to vote for me. You've got to vote for me. You got to.
I don't think Joe Rogan would have her on.
Like me.
Joe Rogan was very against having both the Democrat and Republican candidates on.
I can't stand that guy, but there's no way I'm going to vote for her. No, you have to have fracking. You know, you're the biggest in the country for this. You have two of the biggest sites in the world. It's a massive business for Pennsylvania, and you can't take a chance. She will not allow fracking. She's not going to.
She needs to be on The View.
Problems too. But for your...
I go on all day. That's all the places she needs to...
No choice,
if I may,
but to allow it.
16 minutes and 30 seconds are up. Thank you for being with us.
Thank you very much.
What?
The president has spoken for a total of 16 minutes and 30 seconds.
I'll say something else.
Real quick, because we got a break.
If you watch that interview, she had notes. That means she knew the questions, and she had notes. She kept looking down, up. Nobody wants to cover it. I know all about notes. I mean, you know.
I think Hannity's upset that Trump won't let him talk.
So she's asked a question. She looks down. She keeps on. She had notes. That means she knew that she knew what was happening.
Did her campaign, when they said that they wanted to change the rules that they had agreed to, did they ask for notes? Did they ask for the?
They wanted notes.
They wanted to be seated, and they wanted your mic hot.
And they wanted a desk. They didn't want to do. I said you got to do a stand-up.
After they already agreed to the other.
Yeah, but they wanted a desk from the beginning. You know who else wanted a desk? Sleepy Joe. He wanted a desk.
All right, we got to take a break. More with President Trump. We are in Harrisburg, Pennsylvania.
Wow. He has lost it. He is, there was a sort of magic, to 2016, right? Like, there was an electricity, and, like, this is just weird. He's weird. He's not what he was 8 years ago. God damn it, Smokey, I swear. I love this cat so fucking much. I would love to see Trump on Joe Rogan, but I think that Joe Rogan wouldn't want Trump on Joe Rogan. And I think that's the whole reason that Trump isn't on Joe Rogan. Fucking Marky Mark. You guys don't understand. He's like fucking. He's clawing my fucking. I have to keep his paw from clawing my fucking leg. You can see it right there. He's clawing at it. Yeah, he's Catholic. I showed Curiouser and like you can see the fucking claw marks on my fucking kneecap where he just sits here and he claws the shit out of me. Here, you want to see him? Oh my god, he's clawing me already! Oh, I love him. I love him so fucking much, but goddamn, and he's the coolest fucking cat. He's so fun to pet. He's great to fucking lay with. He little spoons me. Smokey Bong is amazing. They were rescue cats. They were getting ready to be sent to the shelter. They had been like strays that were kept by the neighborhood. Smokey and Socks both. Like the neighborhood kind of took care of them. But you know, they needed their shots. They needed they had ear mites. They had fucking fleas. And they brought fleas into my apartment. I had to deal with fleas for a little while. We finally got them fixed up. I've loved these babies. 2016, I got them about this time in 2016, maybe the end of August. Mr. Gotcha Day. I'm sorry, buddy. Smokey took right to me. Socks took some getting used to. I thought Socks hated me for about a month. And after that, like, he and I, like, we're best fucking friends. Oh, that fucking cat. I love you, buddy. He was really pissed at me this morning because I got up. I came back in. He was laying in my spot. I, like, just grabbed him. And he don't like that. He wants to get in his position on his terms. Gotta quit clawing me. And then, like, I finally know the whole backstory of it. And, like, that's all I know about Smokey and Socks, about their backstory. Maynard, I kind of have, like, his whole deal, right? Like, he was brought in by somebody. He was injured as a kitten. I don't know what the injury was. It's nothing that's noticeable on him. They brought him into a vet where a friend of mine, and I didn't know him. I didn't know he wasn't my friend until I adopted his cat, right? He, like, was the janitor, did the cleaning in the vet, and after they fixed Maynard up, they were going to take him to the shelter. And he's like, no, I can't let him get taken to the shelter. And, like, he like, didn't have a good home for Maynard, and he really had to get rid of him. And because a cat named Maynard came across my Facebook feed, I was like, well, that's the universe telling me that cat wants to be with me. So, I was like, if you can find a way to get him to me, I'll take him. They did. And he's taken 5 fucking years. They're just now coming back from break.
To object when they use that term, radical is...
Fragwitz, if I told you good evening.
Which ignores how Muslims have overwhelmingly been the greatest victims of terror. And we must also have the courage to reject that term illegal alien. I have seen some of the worst of criminal behavior. I have seen...
Yep, it was Curiouser. Curiouser is the one that brought Maynard to me.
All right, we continue.
You shared Johnny's post.
Broadcasting in front of a massive crowd. By the way, want to give we have in our audience, he is the Republican challenger to a very 98.6% Joe Biden, Kamala Harris voting supporter.
What?
McCormick is running against Senator Casey in what is a very important race.
I don't think I have a date for their debate yet.
Dave, great to have you.
Thank you.
Now, you just heard Kamala Harris, our country's failed border czar, talking about her...
Bob Casey versus Dave McCormick does not have a debate date yet.
Terrorism or illegal alien. President Trump is back.
Go, buddy.
Reaction to that, because who attacked us on 9/11 and who's crossing our border?
And he's all wet. He licked himself, and he's all wet.
Correct, and we can't be politically correct anymore. Look,
now I'm all wet.
We have
wet pussy.
We have October 7th. People saw it. We have things going on in the world right now with Israel and with the Middle East is blowing up. It's blowing up. We have Ukraine and Russia. That would never happen. That would have never happened. October 7th would have never happened.
Oh, come on.
If I were the president, it would have never happened, and everybody knew it. Iran was broke. They didn't have the money for Hamas and for Hezbollah. They didn't have the money for anybody. They wanted to get by.
Oh, it looks like it's just announced.
With them. I was only looking to make a fair deal with them. But, you know, I wanted to say it so much during my term.
October 3rd, we're going to get the debate.
Blow-ups. We had no World Trade Center blow-up. We had no radical Islamic terror. We had no radical Islamic terror because we were very tough at the borders.
Did we not? I can't imagine.
We had the whole world was a safe place. That was the question they asked Viktor Orban, who's really considered a very strong. They said he's a strong man. Sometimes you need a strong man. He's a strong man. He's the prime minister of Hungary. And he said, you bring back Trump, everybody, now I'm not saying it, but he said it because I'd rather say respect. But he said, everybody was afraid of Trump. You bring him back, you're not going to have any problems. It's all going to go away. The world is blowing up. The world is blowing up.
Well, this brings...
And Sean, one thing?
Yeah.
The world is blowing up. And when you look at Ukraine and you look at Russia...
September 10th is the presidential debate.
We are potentially...
I was talking about the Pennsylvania Senate debate.
Made a lot of predictions, and this is not a prediction.
I don't blame you, Lenny.
I don't want it to be a prediction. We're heading into World War III territory. And because
none of them high enough for this shit.
Nuclear weapons in particular, but other weapons also.
Yeah, on October 3rd, we're getting Bob Casey, the Republican incumbent, David McCormick, the Democratic challenger.
And you know, the one...
I'm sorry, Casey's a Democrat.
...to upgrade, hated it, was the nuclear program. And I understand it maybe better than anybody. My uncle was at MIT, a professor, the longest-serving professor in the history of MIT. Very smart guy. We have a smart family. It's nice to have a smart family. But I understood nuclear for a long time. The power of nuclear.
He understood nuclear.
You need a president that's not going to be taking you into war. We won't have World War III when I'm elected. But with these clowns...
It's all fear-mongering.
...having World War III, and it's going to be a war like no other.
Let me.
Scaring old people is all this does.
Because you paid a very big price for getting.
I'm glad my grandparents died, so they're not seeing this shit.
You've had a successful business. Obviously, you've been a victim of lawfare, if you will, or a weaponized Department of Justice. Although the Supreme Court ruling on immunity, I think
he knows nuclear.
Certain judges may not abide by it.
Yeah.
And I listened to you talk about the borders. I listened to you talk about how dangerous the world situation is. I listened to you talk about the economy and fracking and the need for energy, and I hear you. And then I asked myself, okay, why is this different? If 2016 was about the forgotten man and forgotten woman, what is 2024 about?
So it's not that different.
It's not that different.
Forgotten man and the forgotten woman. The people are being treated horribly in this country. We're a country that's being laughed at all over the world. And
yeah, because of you mainly.
Would be a great president. I would be happier than being the worst president in the history of our country, because I want to see what's good for the country. And I would have been very happy. I have very nice places I could be. This is not easy. I got shot at, you know. I mean, I got hit. I could have been all over that place. I could have. But you know what? It's very simple, and it starts with make America great again. That's what we have to do.
It makes me think that if you look at everything that we discussed tonight, and you look at your platform.
Thank you.
What really infuriates me, and I'm straightforward. I'm a member of the press, but I'm a talk show host. I'm a conservative, and people know where I stand. I think the press, they're all liberal talk show hosts, but they're dishonest about who they are, and they have an agenda. They've never played Kamala in her own words. Her radical statements, her extreme statements, I think dangerous statements.
Dangerous statements.
I think that if we're talking about the...
Is Hannity talking like Trump? This is in Pennsylvania. This is Harrisburg.
On the economy, if you had sound economic policy, you handed off 1.4% inflation, we'd be doing better in the economy. We'd be energy dominant by now because we were on a path towards energy dominance. We wouldn't have to... Iran was in check. You had them on the verge of bankruptcy. Russia, you had a relationship with them, and North Korea.
Complete nonsense.
With Russia than me. I shut down the biggest pipeline in the world that Russia was building. It was called Nord Stream 2. Nobody ever heard of it. And I said, no way. I said to Germany, there's no way we're going to protect you with NATO and spend billions of dollars protecting you.
Man, that one old lady.
Buying oil from the person and the group that we're protecting you from. And I shut it down. It was 100% shut down. And then this pathetic person comes in and he immediately approves it, but he shut down the Keystone XL pipeline, our pipeline. So And the head of that union, by the way, the pipe fitters union, the pipeline union, the head of that union,
laying pipe union,
deal in the Biden campaign, and he endorsed him. And those people, 48,000 people lost their jobs. It was all approved. I got it approved. Obama rejected it. I approved it. It was starting. They spent billions of dollars. It was also, and they rejected it. It would have been fantastic for us, including the 48,000 jobs. And what he did is he let Russia build the pipeline that I had stopped. It was totally stopped. Going to Germany and other countries. Think of it. We protect them from Russia, and yet they pay Russia billions of dollars. Does it make sense? So I was the toughest on Russia.
Those little fucking hands.
If you're not...
Oh, you're talking about the tractors.
You're killing us. I'd hate to see you if you were really tough. This was the biggest job they've ever had, and I stopped it. And you know what? Russia would have been fine.
They're adorable.
Been fine. China was fine. China paid us hundreds of billions of dollars in taxes and tariffs under me. Under no other president, and I mean right from the beginning, did they pay 10 cents.
You know, we're going to get to audience questions.
Oh, he's going to take questions. This is going to be fun.
As we go to break, and I think this should be a question asked in every presidential election, and I'll ask the people here in Harrisburg. Are you better off than you were 4 years ago?
Yeah.
Okay. When we come back, more former...
Let's do the bow tie.
PA as we continue.
Half the crowd is really enthused. Half the crowd looks bored as fuck. It's really weird. Are they in like a high school gym?
To the theater.
Oh God!
There's nothing a retired governor can do.
I gotta take him off the screen too, cause I got copyright on Ronald Reagan trailer. I'm like, what? How you gonna copyright claim a trailer, you bitches? Like, I'm giving you free it's your advertisement for your movie. If I play your trailer, I am advertising your movie. It's also weird to me that, like, YouTube will show you ads when you're watching a movie trailer. It's like, the trailer is an ad. You realize that, right? The trailer is not content. The trailer is an ad for content. I'm sorry. Whoever invented doing that deserves a titty slap.
Titty slap! Come on now.
I hear. And it's gone. No, I'm right back. No, we're here. Don't F my stream. We're here. You might get hit with an ad. Warlord, you're here. You hear me, right? Everything's good. Yeah. That was odd. I'm not muted. Oh, you're fucking with me. Don't fuck with me like that. Oh, what? How would you? Fuck you. No. You wouldn't know I was saying that you're fucking with me if I was muted. You don't do that to me. That's the kind of shit Sparkles does. Stop it. Fucking with me. I know they're fucking with me. I see my levels. I know I'm not muted. Soup. Leftist audio up in here. Don't you have not missed any of the strange whining sound. Oh, that was great. That strange whining sound is Trump coming to you from Harrisburg, Pennsylvania. We're going to get back to him here in just a second. You see what I did there? Are they going to have Elizabeth Warren on Fox and Friends tomorrow? Or is it just we're going to hate on Elizabeth Warren tomorrow on Fox? That's what it is, isn't it? Pennsylvania. What's Sarah H. telling us over here? The catheter commercial. But the average age of a Fox viewer is like 79 or something. The average age of a Fox viewer is like dead. And now we get back pain commercial. Catheter cowboy. Well, that's not a bad idea. Like a standing desk thing with a comfort edge. That's not a bad idea for all you work from home people. If you work from home, the best advice I can give you, as someone who has done it long before COVID, is be as comfortable as possible. Make sure you like your fucking chair. Make sure you like your desk. Make sure you are sitting comfortably. Get you an ass cushion. Standing catheter. Okay, back to Hannity.
Is one of our administration's top economic.
Yes, be sure to stretch and hydrate.
Is it wrong?
Get a donut.
Inflation transitory.
Oh, you didn't mean like a donut.
Seem like they're going to be with us.
You meant like a round donut that you sit on.
The fact that
you said donut, and I was like, yeah, get you a glaze, get you
groceries, and our
cream pie one.
Need solutions to it.
Will you commit to implementing a federal ban on fracking your first
Flash, are you a Catholic?
In the United States to the list of countries who have banned this devastating practice?
There's no question I'm in favor of banning fracking.
And it's rough. Groceries, the cost of groceries.
Get glazed.
The cost of gas has gone up. And as this is all happening in the context of 2 years of a pandemic, it's one of the highest priorities actually for the president and for me.
That is called Bidenomics. That is called Bidenomics, and we are very proud of Bidenomics.
Explains a lot.
All right, we continue she's very proud of Bidenomics. In Harrisburg, Pennsylvania, that was Kamala Harris touting her pretty radical beliefs on the economy in her own words. According to Kamala,
Bidenomics sounds fun.
Changed. We don't know where she stands because she's only done an interview for 16 minutes and 29 seconds spoken. So on the issue of the economy, just how many of you in this room, and you can all close your eyes so you're not looking at.
They're doing a rodeo in that arena tomorrow.
Economically in the last number of years. Wow.
Sounds like math, you say.
When I started my adult life, I struggled to pay my rent. You know my jobs. I've listed them 100 times, working in the service industry and bartending and cooking and washing dishes and construction. Not McDonald's. That was a lie. And
By the way, she didn't work at McDonald's, right?
She did.
There's nothing wrong with working at McDonald's.
No evidence of it.
Did she work at McDonald's? Because
so far, no evidence.
I don't think so, based on what I saw.
Here's my question. She wants to raise corporate taxes.
You've never worked at McDonald's.
Taxes, capital gain taxes, estate taxes, the international corporate minimum tax, to the point where America won't be competitive anymore. And your tax cuts are about to expire in 2025. What does this mean for the economy? What does it mean for everybody here struggling?
So I gave you the biggest tax cuts in the history of our country. If you let them... if you let the
DJ Dub
tax cuts expire, which she wants to do, she wants to terminate them. If you do that, you will suffer the biggest tax increase in history. There's never been a tax increase like it.
There's probably a picture of her in her McDonald's uniform with her first check.
And I've said
that's like she's like my brother's age, right?
The country will end up in a depression if she becomes president.
Like my brother had the picture in his little McDonald's hat and his striped shirt with his first check.
What if unrealized capital gains taxes were implemented? What would
she
that
wants
do?
to do that. This is where you have something, you don't even know what the value is. I tell you what, if that's going to happen, go out and open an appraisal company because you're going to make a fortune. That's about the only group that's going to make it, and accountants. It is the craziest idea. And remember this, very rich people and big international corporations, they don't have to stay in the United States. And they will be forced to leave for other countries. They can't afford to do a thing like that. They may have great wealth and no cash, and they're going to have to pay cash. Where are they going to get the cash? If they do that, the unrealized capital gain, it's been talked about for a few years by ultra-left Marxists only. Like her father's a Marxist. Her father's a Marxist teacher of economics. Can you believe this? But
that's actually true.
And I think,
but they're apparently not very close.
Because she's got a lot of things that are just as bad. If she gets in, I think we will have a...
Her dad is literally a Marxist professor, yes.
That's what I think will happen to our country. Already they've set us on a path.
What about price gauging, as she calls it, or gouging?
Well, she called it gauging.
And what if they implement that and then price controls? Yeah. That's been tried in...
He was Jamaican, but I don't think he lives in Jamaica. I think he's at
It's a disaster.
Yeah,
some college here.
No matter over hundreds
I don't think they speak.
Over hundreds of years, price controls, you end up with no product, you end up with massive inflation, and you end up with the destruction of a country.
How does this impact? How do high interest rates impact? How does inflation impact everybody that's here?
Well, they can't buy a home. They can't do anything. Your business is stopped up. You can't borrow money.
Business is constipated.
And interest rates are 2%. Now they're 10%, but you can't get the money. You can't get the money. There's no money available. So 10% is right. If you can't get the money.
That woman that was clapping has no idea what the fuck he's talking about.
You can't borrow money to buy a house now.
It really is unbelievable. So we have all of this. Now, let me talk about, in 6 days, you will have probably your only opportunity to debate Kamala Harris.
Yeah.
If I vote instead of George Stephanopoulos' network that I get to moderate the debate. Just saying. But ABC is not.
John, ABC is the worst network in terms of fairness. They had a poll where I was 17 points down a couple of days prior to the election. I was 17 points down in Wisconsin. And they do that so people don't vote because, hey, I love Trump, but he's 17 points down. I'm not going to go out and vote. I was 17 points down and I won. And I called the best pollster. I said, why wouldn't they say 5 or 4 or 3? Because at 3, you go and vote. At 17, your people say, I want to vote, but, I'm busy. I have other things to do. Let's go see a movie and we'll watch the results later. They are the most dishonest network, the meanest, the nastiest, but that was what I was presented with. I was presented with ABC, George Slopadopoulos. You know who he is? And he's a nasty guy. And yet, he's a nasty...
That one always gets me.
I've had him up to here. But let me tell you...
He's a little short.
Let me tell you, he's a very, very bad kind of a guy. But I watched his interview of Joe Biden. It was like the softest interview I've ever seen. It was softer than the CNN interview of Kamala. So
that's a wild thing to say sitting here with Sean Hannity on Fox News.
See how nasty they are, how unfair they are. I agreed to do it because they wouldn't do any other network. The other thing is, her best friend is the head of the network. Her husband's best friend is married to the head of the network. And they're going to get the questions. I've already heard they're going to get the questions in advance. They even have Donna Brazil. Remember Donna Brazil? She gave...
Oh, I do.
Donna Brazil. She's the real beauty. Donna Brazil. She gave Hillary Clinton
Bobo Brazil
questions. You remember that? And she works for ABC, and she's at the round table talking about the debate. So we're going to watch very closely, but you're not allowed to do it. We even have a clause in the contract. You can't give them the questions, but I'm not sure it's going to help her that much, though. I think you might give her the questions and give her the answers with the questions. I'm not sure it's going to help her.
I don't know. All right, now, so unlike Kamala Harris, our time is actually up. However, we're going to let Dave McCormick ask the first question.
Yeah, there were your questions.
Not tonight, but tomorrow night.
He always does this, you know.
I do.
Our time's up, but you know what? Let's make 2 shows out of it.
All right.
Wait.
More from President Trump as we continue. We are in the all-important state of Pennsylvania and Harrisburg. Thank you for being with us.
I don't know what's going on.
New Day USA, we have a noble...
I have no idea what they're doing. There were supposed to be questions, but I think Trump rambled too long. I don't think Sean Hannity's had any control over it. This was scheduled for 1 hour, 9 until 10 o'clock. I don't know if it's a 2-day event. I think we're coming back. I think we're getting more tonight. I think Trump is taking over the network. What comes on after Hannity? Is it Gutfeld? A lot of commercial breaks. He had no new material whatsoever. I don't think... Oh, is it Jesse Watt? No, he's at 8 o'clock, isn't he? I think it's Gutfeld at 10. Gutfeld. Or maybe... Oh, no. It's Ingram, isn't it? Ingram, then Gutfeld. I think it's Waters, Hannity, Ingram, Gutfeld. I think. Possibly. I don't have fucking TV. I shouldn't be expected to know these things. I don't know that I know those things, DJ Dub. I think it's gonna be we are currently pirating this. Dustin, good evening. Exactly, Dustin. Don't you dare, Warlord. I mean, you don't have to, because Flash is right here. I'm pretty sure he's a Fed. You goddamn right he loves this. I have deduced that Flash is a Fed. But he's a lovable Fed. He's our Fed. We want to keep him close anyway, right? Trying to say, what am I? You're a British motherfucker. Like, that's a whole other category. That's a whole other box of nope. Put some beans on a baked potato. Flash, look at me. You really think I'm a fucking Fed? I'm so burnt out, my brown eye is bloodshot. I do now. Well, maybe that's just hemorrhoids. We're coming up on September 11th. I have a setup for the Troll Patrol that's like the holiday setup. I will beforehand set up the whatever the holiday special is going to be. I'm already set up for September 11th. I love my September 11th opening video because it counts down to 0. And then a plane flies in and it explodes. It's hilarious to me. Wow, Soup. We will celebrate it as a happy day, not just the funny meme day that I always celebrate it as. All right, get back to the fucking thing. Yeah, there we go.
All right, unfortunately, that's all the time we have left this evening.
Seriously?
Thank you, President Trump. Great.
Blue Waters.
Thank you for being with us. Thank you, Harrisburg. We love you. In the meantime, set your DVR so you never miss an episode. Let not your heart be troubled. Greg Gutfeld is next to put a smile on your face. Part 2 of Donald Trump tomorrow night.
Yeah, I guess we're getting it tomorrow night. God damn it. Quentin Tarantino on his panel.
I feel the same way about me. Happy Wednesday, everyone. Oh, boy. Brian Stelter returning to CNN.
Yeah, I saw that.
The network also announced their office cafeteria will be open 24 hours a day.
Feel free to cut me off and
claims that Stelter's hiring is
tell me to go back to the news.
Increase their workplace diversity by adding a potato. And who better to cover Joe Biden's last days than a vegetable? You know, Brian claimed that getting fired was the best thing that ever happened to him, even better than getting married, having kids, or when Wendy's created.
Everybody's like, news, news, news. Oh, that's fucking hilarious. I love you guys so much. Okay, where did we leave off? Okay. Let's go to North Korea. I guess I should hit the content warning before this one. Oh God, I gotta translate. Kim Jong-un apparently thought his officials didn't handle flooding very well and executed about 30 of them. North Korean dictator Kim Jong-un has executed 30 high-ranking officials, failing to stop the devastating floods which rocked the nation. The apocalyptic flood decimated parts of the Changgang province, which left more than 4,000 people homeless. According to South Korean news outlet Chosun TV, a North Korean official said those who cause unacceptable casualties will be strictly punished, clearly. You're seeing video of Un touring the flood-ravaged areas. It has been determined that 20 to 30 key party individuals in the flood-stricken area were executed at the same time late last month. According to North Korean Central News Agency, Kim Jong-un told authorities to strictly punish those. He said neglected their responsibilities for disaster prevention. Heavy rains pummeled North Korea in July as landslides and floods affected more than 4,000 homes and isolating 5,000 residents. Footage previously showed the North Korean dictator personally inspecting the affected areas. According to KNCA, 15,400 people, including mothers, children, older adults, and disabled soldiers, were displaced. Kim Jong-un said it would take between 2 and 3 months to rebuild the flood-hit areas. Propaganda music just ended abruptly, adding that he declared parts of these provinces as special disaster emergency zones. Bagheera, good evening. Flooding is not uncommon in North Korea, which is exacerbated by major deforestation in its mountains and hills. The dictator previously hit out reports for spreading the false rumor that the human loss is expected to be more than 1,000 or 1,500. What an insane place. Almost untouched by civilization. Almost. They have a little civilization. This tribe I'm getting ready to tell you about in Peru, they have no civilization. They've never been contacted. 2 loggers were killed in a bow and arrow attack after encroaching on land of uncontacted tribe in the Amazon. Rights group FINAMAD said that the attack occurred around 15 miles from the site of a July incident when the Mashco Piro tribe also attacked loggers. You can see a photograph of the tribe, members of the Mashco Piro, along the Las Piedras River in the Amazon in June. Fucking wow. Two loggers have been killed in a bow and arrow attack after allegedly encroaching on the land of an uncontacted Machu Picchu indigenous tribe deep in Peru's Amazon. Tensions between loggers and tribes are on the rise, according to a rights group known as FINAMAD, which defends the rights of the country's indigenous people. FINAMAD, which represents 39 indigenous communities in the Cusco and Madre de Dios region in southeastern Peru, said 2 other loggers in the attack were missing and another was injured, with rescue efforts underway. The incident took place on the 29th of August in the Panaramunu River Basin while loggers were expanding their passageways into the forest and came in contact with the reclusive and renowned territorial tribe. The Peruvian state has not taken preventative and protective measures to ensure the lives and integrity of the workers. I don't give a shit about the lives of the integrity of the workers. Of the workers who have been gravely affected. The group said the attack happened around 15 miles from the site of a July incident when the Mashco Picchu also attacked loggers. FINAMAD said in a statement that even though they advised the government of the risk of the rise of violence, nothing has been done. They're probably trying to come after the fucking photographer. Leave those motherfuckers alone. If they don't want to be a part of civilization, leave them be. Let them live however the fuck they're living in their little, in their huts, untouched by modern mechanics. If they want to, they will venture out, I would assume. I don't know. Is it child abuse? Because the children grow up not ever knowing that they could have a different life. I don't know. I say leave them the fuck alone. You definitely deserve whatever you get if you go into their territory. Everybody back from the commercial break. I've kind of lost control of them. Twitch changed how they do commercial breaks. I'll see if I can get back to how we used to do them. And tell me if this is less intrusive. I don't want anybody to miss out on any content, but like I had no idea you were getting sent to commercial break until you got sent to commercial break. Donald Trump on with Sean Hannity earlier made a comment about the Venezuelan gangs that apparently took over an Aurora, Colorado apartment complex. That is not true. That has been proven to be a lie. The story is far more insidious than that. Not the right-wing fear-mongering. A YouTuber apparently went to this apartment complex.
Aquí? No. No? Okay. Fake news? Falso news? Okay. Gracias. ¿Es tren de agua aquí o no? No. No? No. ¿Peligrosa aquí lately? No?
That's what somebody that was in a gang would say.
Pandillas se han apoderado de este complejo.
Hey, who is this dude? I don't even know him.
No, no sé, porque yo vivo trabajando, yo vengo al trabajo y a dormir.
¿Cuántos años vive aquí?
Meses.
¿Meses?
3 meses.
Okay, ¿de dónde eres?
Venezuela.
Okay. Is it safe out here?
During the day, mostly. I don't like to travel around.
He seems awful, but at least he's learning that.
Got large piles of uncollected trash here. Normal, standard. You got the van normal. I'm pretty sure this means stop the violence or something. Is it safe out here? Yeah.
Well, he's not doing a good job of being a fast propagandist if he is learning that Venezuelan gangs did not take over the apartment complex. The trash not being picked up is a problem with the slumlord that is refusing to tend to the needs of the tenants.
No. Okay.
Which is why they've stopped paying rent.
Yeah. Lots of shootings? Shootings last night. All right, be safe.
No puedo hablar más de lo que puedo decir porque también es mi seguridad de mi persona.
Are most of the people that live...
Oh, he's bullshitting you.
Yes.
Bien?
Yes, el principio fue bien, pero después que cambiaron la administración de los edificios, todo se volvió nada. Todo cambió.
What is this? ¿Una persona vive aquí?
No sé, yo estoy viviendo, está cerrado.
Should I knock?
Sí, suena.
Hola. The doors are walled off right now. We're trying to figure out if the gangsters have taken this place over. I'm looking right.
You probably see that bullet hole in my bedroom window, huh?
Everybody has told you that no, that is not what happened.
Yeah, it's a bullet hole right there, though.
How often do you hear bullets out here?
Probably like every 2 days.
Damn, that's pretty shitty, yeah?
Hell yeah.
I hopped on a call with Aurora resident and retired ICE field office director to hear his opinion on what's really going on here.
You know, look, the city is not on fire.
Everyone,
huge place, you know, it's a great place to be, great schools, you know, but there are issues, just like there are with any city anywhere in the United States. The state of Colorado is a sanctuary state. Started really letting in a lot of the
oh yeah, that's the bullshit
from the border. So they are.
But like he found nothing. This is like that time that Tim Pool went to did he go to Norway to prove that there was no-go zones and everybody laughed at him? That's kind of what happened in this video. He brought on this ICE agent to talk all scary about sanctuary cities. Sweden. He went to Sweden. That's what it was. All right, we're gonna do a couple of crime stories. Only a couple of them are, you know, really bad. We got the really bad one out of the way at the beginning of the show. We got fun crime stories. I promise. I said that last night, and then it ended up that also was like a shitty story. So couple of hard-hitting crime stories. Then we're back to fun shit. I promise. The suspect in the Julio Fulio shooting was in court.
One of the men accused of killing rapper Julio Fulio appeared in a Tampa courtroom today. 30-year-old Rashad Murphy is one of 5 suspects in the case. And as News Channel 8's Jeff Patterson reports, detectives believe the killing was sparked by a long-standing feud.
His stage name was Julio Fulio. His real name was Charles Jones, and he lived in Jacksonville. But his career and his life ended in Tampa. There is video of the night Charles Jones, also known as Julio Fulio, was killed. Today, a detective who specializes in gang activity in Jacksonville testified that Jones was a known member of the 6 Block gang and a rival of the ATK and 1200 gang in Jacksonville. Each gang made a rap video about the other. We can't play all of the sound from the video because it's just too profane. But Richard Nieder says these videos are records of one gang bragging about killing members of other gangs.
They might not be taking credit.
I just want to point out that I have this picture of Rihanna holding a fish. Couple of fish, actually. That's Julio Fulio behind her, smiling really big. She's really proud of her fucking fish. Lewd. Why do I have this picture of Rihanna holding 2 fish? 2 fish. I'm not horny looking at this picture. That is the least. She's double fisting a fish. Julio is. No, there is nothing sexy about this picture at all. You guys are turned on by. If you are turned on by this picture, I feel like you've got problems.
You live in sexual
She
anarchy.
got nice hips, but like, what the fuck is that face she's making? And she's holding 2 gigantic fish. And she's very proud of her fish. Take that bass. That's the face of a woman who is proud of her fucking catch, and I can't begrudge her of that. But like, why is Rihanna? I would hope she's gonna cook them. They'd be really fucking good.
Credit from themselves, but they're associating themselves to the group that is going to be responsible.
Why would she be holding them like that? Like she's proud of them. Now we're back to the fish again. I'm sorry. Why would she be holding them like that if she didn't catch them? Look, everybody's got fishing poles. So I'm assuming they were fishing. And she's like, hey, look at my fucking catch. You don't think, like, are they planted fish? Anyway, Julio Fulio. He dead now. This is one of the men charged in his death.
Bragging about killing members of other gangs.
They might not be taking credit from themselves, but they're associating themselves to the group that is going to be responsible for those killings.
Julio Fulio also made rap videos disrespecting members of his rival gangs. On June 23rd, Jones traveled to Tampa to celebrate a birthday and to perform at a local nightclub. A detective from the Tampa Police Department showed videos of rival gang members following Jones in Tampa. The video from a hotel and a Tesla car in the parking lot shows several gang members opening fire on Jones' car, killing him. Tampa police detective says one of the shooters was Rashad Murphy.
At this point, the shooters exit the Impala and begin to approach the victim's position on foot.
Today's hearing is to determine if Rashad Murphy should be held in jail without bond until his trial. 3 other suspects have been arrested in this case. 1 other suspect is still at large. In Tampa, Jeff Patterson, 8 on your side.
Thanks, Jeff. Next one's going to piss you off. I'm going to hit the content warning. Hate crimes, bigotry, transphobia. A teen in Massachusetts was attacked, being investigated as a possible hate crime.
It was a blink of an eye. 1 second I was having fun, and the next second I was on the ground getting my face stomped and beat up.
16-year-old Jaden Tkachuk is recovering from a broken bone in his face, nerve damage, a head injury, and bruises all over his body.
They were just saying the F slur over and over and over and over as they were punching me and stomping me.
He says he went to hang out in the Gloucester woods with friends Friday night when he was attacked by 20 to 30 people. The transgender student believes he knows why.
They clearly had mentioned that in the past that they don't like me because I'm trans, and also because one of the main culprits, he's dating my ex-girlfriend, so he really doesn't like me.
Jaden escaped, got lost in the woods, and called 911. The junior at Topsfield Vocational Academy says many of the attackers are on the Gloucester High football team. He knows them from when he used to play football in Gloucester.
Yep, that makes sense.
I played on it for about a week or 2 before I had to quit because of the threats that they were making towards me.
Police are investigating the incident as a possible hate crime and have brought in a specially trained civil rights detective. Videos of the incident have been surfacing online.
Wow!
Access to many videos. Our detectives are getting evidence sent to them. They're getting information sent to them. And of course, they're aware of the social media posts that are out there.
Jaden and his family want the attackers held accountable.
This has always been my worst fear as a mom of a trans teen, getting that phone call that your son is in the hospital for getting beat up.
Thanks for watching.
Shut up, Lester. Said one of the culprits was dating his ex-girlfriend. I bet dude crushes pussy, gets some dick, whatever he wants. Shouldn't say that about a kid. That was weird on my part. I'm sorry. I apologize for that. Cancel Justin. Thank you, Warlord. A suspicious vehicle was left near the gas pumps at a gas station in LA.
Now at 11:30, breaking news, a hazmat situation at a gas station in Irwindale.
Let's get up to Rich Prickett in Sky 5 with the details. Rich?
Glenn and Lou, it's on the corner of Irwindale Avenue and Arrow Highway here in the city of Irwindale. You can see PD as well as the fire department are here at this AM/PM ARCO station. They're saying there's some sort of a hazmat situation, possibly involving this van. We've seen some doors that were open on the other side of the van. As far as how widespread the hazmat is, we're not entirely sure, but the gas station is closed as well as the convenience store of this AMP ARCO station. No word on what the hazmat might be. We're awaiting more information.
There's no update. This happened midday today. How do we not know what happened?
From the Irwindale Police Department, but the gas station will remain closed. In the meantime, again, this is on the corner of Irwindale Avenue and Arrow Highway in the city of Irwindale. Live in Sky 5, I'm Rich Prickett. I'll send it back to you in Hollywood.
That's sus. How can we not know what happened with suspicious vehicle? There's a missing teen. His name is Sebastian Rogers. Apparently this has gotten some nationwide attention. It's gotten so much attention Well, Mr. Dog the Bounty Hunter has decided he's going to lend his expertise. Dog the Bounty Hunter, help me find Sebastian Rogers on the hunt for missing teen. Prometheus, good evening. Search for a missing 15-year-old boy with autism is going Hollywood. Dog the Bounty Hunter is officially joining the hunt for Sebastian Rogers. The famed TV personality just announced he's getting involved in the case of Sebastian's mysterious disappearance. Dog says he wants to do his part to bring the boy home and lock up those who may be responsible. Dog is asking folks, this sounds like a brazen publicity stunt to latch on to a national story. Could be wrong, but that's what I'm smelling. Smell wet dog. Dog is asking folks to contact his tip line with any information on Sebastian's whereabouts or any potential leads, and he is hyping up the $100,000 reward tied to the case. Sebastian, an autistic teen from Tennessee, has been missing since February 26th, when his parents claim he left the family home in Hendersonville in the middle of the night and never came back. More exposure for this poster, not a bad thing. But ultimately, I don't think Dog adds anything. Search efforts among multiple law enforcement agencies have so far come up empty, and even the FBI has been unable to track down the teen, who is said to have a fascination with water. Sebastian is described as standing 5 foot 5 inches tall, weighing 120 pounds, with blonde brown hair and brown or hazel eyes. Beware the dog, the big bad dog. Dog's tracked down a ton of folks over the years, including on his reality TV show, and joined the Brian Laundrie manhunt a couple of years back, so it'll be interesting if he's the key here. Sounds like Dog is jumping right into the case, saying the hunt is on. Let's go. Bagheera, legend. You let the TV tell you what to think, my friend. You let him tell you Donald Trump's a billionaire and a successful businessman. You let the TV tell you that Dog the Bounty Hunter is a successful bounty hunter, big tough guy. It's all for show. You let him tell you Mike Rowe is a dirty jobs man. He's an everyman out here doing construction jobs and odd jobs and shit. I'm here to teach you media literacy and be skeptical of the things you watch. Mike Rowe has soft hands. Dog for president. I'd have more fun covering Dog. Dog should run for... Dog should be the next... Dog 2028 for the Republican candidate. Dog versus Kamala Harris is the... That's the race we need. And a race... hold on, let me do that again. An arrest has been made. Case of a couple who high fives after their robberies.
It's startling video of two suspects accused of robbing an elderly person and then high-fiving each other. The 86-year-old victim opened the door for one suspect. That's when police say the other suspect attacked him and stole $400. Video shows the pair seeming to celebrate the theft with a high five.
Joey, good evening.
Police in San Antonio, Texas shared this video a month ago.
Oh, soup.
Now they say they have identified one of the suspects thanks to tips that came in from the public. Adriana Garza was arrested and faces a robbery charge.
Wait, what?
To KENS TV.
Is that the woman we just saw? That's that woman?
One of the suspects, thanks to tips that came in from the public. Adriana Garza was arrested and faces a robbery charge, according to KENS TV.
Excellent mugshot.
She has not
No
yet
notes.
entered a plea. The other suspect has not yet been identified.
Oh yeah, they were on some kind of bender.
Inside Edition.
They were doing crack or meth or something. I didn't think it looked like the same woman. What do I know? She looked far more put together when she was stealing the money. So I'm assuming that the mugshot was after the bender had taken place. She'd come down from her $200 high. Problem that a lot of millennials face is the prospect of home ownership. Some of you may be in the market for a home, and I've got quite a deal for you. It's in Monrovia. You can buy half a house for $500,000.
A home in Monrovia is up for sale for $500,000.
And it is quite the fixer-upper. You'll recall a tree maybe fell onto this house back in May. Maybe you'll remember that. The occupants were not hurt, but the
maybe you'll remember that.
Cut this 645 square foot, one bedroom, one bath home in half. What's left is now on the market. That's wow, for $499,999. It comes incomplete with walls. It has some loose wires, no ceiling. Well, the plumbing we hear still works. The listing agent is trying to put a positive spin. No privacy in the bathroom. It's an open concept floor plan, they're describing it.
Guess so.
He also says because the home was destroyed by an act of God, a buyer can demolish and rebuild it without any red tape from the city.
And apparently that's why there has been a lot of interest in this house,
Yeah.
because otherwise you have to
Right.
go through a ton of red tape to.
Yeah, that's what I was assuming. Somebody wants to buy that to tear it down. Build something completely new. Build a house for their wife and kids, perhaps. But if you're John Cena, maybe you don't want kids. PragerU posted this video. I guess this is from Club Shay. John Cena and kids. I don't know why PragerU shared this out. I'm interested why PragerU wanted to share this out.
You didn't want kids. Where are you on kids now?
I don't want them. You don't? No, and I'm still there. I'm 47. I don't have them. I have a certain curiosity about life, and I also know the investment that it takes.
Yep.
My biggest fear is, as someone who's driven, many times stubborn and selfish, I try to approach the world with kindness and curiosity, but I don't think I'm personally ready, nor will I ever be, to invest the time it needs to be a great parent.
This video of John Cena talking about kids is stirring up a lot of conversation online. People are basically falling into two different schools of thought. On one hand, people are saying that someone like John Cena, who is driven...
What does it matter what John Cena, like, he explained his reasoning. Why is there a debate going on? It's his reasoning.
Successful, curious about life, is the exact type of person who should be having kids. And on the other hand, you have people commending him for his self-awareness, saying that it doesn't matter if the reasons are selfish or not. If he doesn't think he can put in the time to raise a kid, then he probably shouldn't, and it's good that he's not.
That's what it would be. Like, I knew it had to be something like pro breeder. He's exactly the type of person that should be having kids. Go from PragerU to the Daily Wire. Eagles player is ripping the NFL for scheduling the season opener in Brazil. Told his family, do not come. Philadelphia Eagles cornerback Darius Slay blasted the NFL for scheduling the team's opening game against the Green Bay Packers in Sao Paulo, Brazil, and told his family not to come.
Trip. Week one, I'm looking forward to it. I can't wait. But man, I do not want to go to Brazil. You want to know why? I'm here to tell you why. They already told us not to leave the hotel. They told us we can't do too much going on because the crime rate is crazy. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, NFL, why y'all want to send us somewhere with the crime rate this high? And
oh yeah, because if you fancy down in Brazil, they'll kidnap you and they'll try to fucking ransom you. Because cartels run the fucking country. Because the U.S. has interfered in it so much and made it unstable. Did that answer your question? But the NFL loves money, so that's why they sent you down there to do their bidding.
And like, we out the country. So, you know, the first thing people think is like something terrible can possibly happen. I told my family, do not come down there because I'm not going to be nowhere to be found. Really, I'm going to be in a hotel chilling, minding my business, playing my game after a long 9.5 hour flight. So I don't have no intentions on doing that. I'm going to
Yeah, I had a friend that used to go down to Brazil all the time. Fucking loved it. I wouldn't say that he was poor. He was well off enough to go to Brazil fucking like every year. But he wasn't fucking expensive where somebody gonna fucking kidnap him and ransom him.
We eat hotel food. I'm doing everything. But they said, yeah, man, it's going to be pretty crazy down there. You know, police said they're going to be, you know, try to be the best they could possibly be, the top flight security of the world, Craig. You know what I'm saying? So we hope for that, man. But I do go.
Still, there's a lot of fun, I would assume. I bet they got some good drugs in Brazil. I'd love to go. Hey, wait, let's get high. I'm actually I'm at the end of the show. I didn't realize we went through it all that fast. I was expecting some of this later shit to take longer. I got this video. This is animal video, but I don't think it's like a cuddly animal video. I don't think you guys would be happy with me if I left you with this animal video. So let's watch this, and then we'll see what else. We'll see if we've got a car chase or something, maybe. Let's see what else we got going on here. Yeah, I don't think you guys are gonna like me if I just left you with this animal video. Yeah, especially because mitochondria is back tonight. We need a chase.
Tonight, a big Labor Day weekend surprise for a family in Aspen when a bear snuck up on a child.
Yeah, Fox 31's Rachel Sauer obtaining new video of exactly what happened. She joins us in studio with a closer look. Rachel.
Yeah, Erica, well, they were spending the weekend with family in Aspen, and they have seen wildlife on the property at night, and have even caught some bears on video before, but never in the afternoon like this. Now, take a look at this video here. It was on Saturday when this young man, Evan Schmaler, was enjoying some kettle corn he and his family had just gotten from the Aspen Farmers Market. Then all of a sudden, you can see on your screen, just at the right there, this huge black bear came up behind him, sniffing the air.
That's not huge.
Kettle corn, getting within almost a foot of the boy's head. Just look at that. His parents say he had no idea it was there until his uncle came out and chased the bear off.
I was frozen for a couple seconds. I didn't know what to do. Luckily, Rob and his brother kind of jumped into action sooner than I did, and they knew just to make some loud noise, and then that would scare the bear.
Yeah, thankfully no one was hurt in this incident, and late last month Colorado Parks and Wildlife told us we're coming up on what is known as Fat Bear Fall, so more bears are going to be out and about looking for food this time of year. Back to you guys.
Fat Bear Fall.
Video there. Thank you. And
that's what they're calling it on the grinder this year. Fat Bear Fall. Let's see what we got here. Let's see what we got. I didn't know Steven Crowder was still a thing. He only got 14K people watching. He's barely a thing anymore, is it? Damn, man. If the Daily Wire was offering me 50 fucking million just a couple of years ago, and now I'm only pulling 14K on YouTube. That's a fall from. That's a fall. Good job, Steven. I think Tim Pool's getting ready to fall too, don't you guys? It's been a lot of bad news for Tim Pool lately. I don't think he is going to be a content creator in a couple of years. Got a fleeing suspect. Gynecologists say California is at risk of dangerous land movement. Oh, geologist, I'm sorry, I read that wrong. Those are two completely fucking different things. Apparently the weapon used in the school shooting today was an AR style rifle. Oh, like right wingers are really latching on to this arrest of Fannie Willis's daughter. There's a whole body cam footage. Like I don't think we need to. They're just saying arrest of her daughter, and then a lot of them are saying like, oh, Fannie had to come pick up the car. It was arrest for driving on a suspended license, which happens all the fucking time. I saw people who were like, oh, she was trying to get out of it, blah, 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 blah. Man, like, fucking driving on a suspended license is like the most nothing charge. 99.9% of all judges will throw it out if you take care of whatever it was that got your license suspended. They will drop the driving on suspended license charge. Huh. Apparently there's been no long form chase today, apparently. We do have who holding a fish? Fannie Willis? Or Rihanna? The Rihanna was so long ago. Tim Pool didn't get indicted, but one of Tim Pool's funders got indicted.
Shocking new dash cam video showing the moments leading up to a crash that killed an innocent driver in
God.
I'm David Ono. Investigators say it happened as the driver in a white Jeep was fleeing from officers at high speed. Inland Empire reporter Leticia Juarez is live for the scene with more on that new video and new details about this crash. Leti.
Well, David, just a tragic story here. What we can tell you is that the driver was parked here, was about to enter the intersection from where I'm standing here. And this is when this all happens. Now, a viewer did send in a video of the collision. That driver was on the opposite end where you see those police vehicles and captured the moment that collision happened, which killed that Mustang driver. We'll pause the video because it's obviously a very violent crash, but this is what we did see from that video. You can see that the driver in that red Mustang is entering the intersection there at Beach and Cherry, and just as that happened, that's when the Jeep comes flying through that intersection. Now, the impact sent both vehicles across opposite lanes of traffic. According to the CHP, this all began around 1 this afternoon as that traffic stop was happening. They say that their officers spotted the driver in the Jeep speeding along the southbound lanes of the 15 freeway in Fontana. The officer attempted to pull the driver over and was able to, proceeding with that traffic stop, actually contacting the suspect, speaking with that suspect. But then for some unknown reason, the suspect hit the gas and fled. The CHP officer then ran back to his vehicle and tried to catch up. The officer was able to see the suspect exiting the freeway. And moments later, that's when the Jeep collided with the Mustang, killing that driver.
Immediately following the crash, the suspect driver of the Jeep Cherokee attempted to flee on foot, but was quickly apprehended by CHP personnel. Medical aid was summoned for both the suspect driver and the driver of the red Mustang. Tragically, the driver of the red Mustang was pronounced deceased on scene.
Now, that suspect was taken to a local hospital. His condition is unknown. As far as identities, that will be for the coroner to do. That will be much later.
That'll be for the coroner to decide.
Investigation here still very
his identity.
As the CHP's traffic unit collects and documents the scene here. And we're continuing to follow this story and hopefully bring you more as more information becomes available. Reporting live here in Fontana, Leticia Juarez, ABC 7 Eyewitness News.
Tell me more about that. Hey, Mark Brown.
Great ABC 7.
Tell me more about that fucking suspicious van at the gas station. All right, your chase for today comes to us from about 10 months ago.
does not mean that San Bernardino turned around and went home. They are still monitoring this pursuit.
We got multiple agencies pursuing.
Right behind California Highway Patrol when this pursuit does finally.
No, well, it's not a minivan. It's one of those.
Back to San Bernardino to face those original charges. I would say that is the most likely scenario. He is
hybrid SUV thing.
Not going to Men's Central downtown. He's going back to San Bernardino, which is a different story, especially considering that we have, I think, pretty good reason to believe that there is more to the story here than just Grand Theft Auto. Again, I'm speculating a little bit.
He said the phrase.
Impression that he is running from some more serious charges. Now you see we're going back in the eastbound direction, really going back and forth right along Whittier Boulevard. He's been on Whittier now for several minutes, going east and west, making random U-turns. You saw we
get high, guys.
Shopping center yet again.
Oh, let me go take a tinkle, and then I'll come back. We'll get high.
Yeah, and at gas is $6.
Tinkle in Dan Crenshaw's open eye hole. Ah ha ha! Give me that eye, pussy, motherfucker.
But expensive gas. You hope the owner he stole this car from maybe kept the gas tank at a quarter tank or at least not full. Hopefully this.
Well. Yeah, one thing that's interesting is now that he's been up and down Whittier Boulevard with all of those resources on Whittier, we're starting to see, like we did just there, a spike strip attempt.
Oh.
That's what he was swerving away from. And if that continues, you might see additional attempts to spike the vehicle as he if and when he establishes a pattern like he did there for a minute. Now he's in some new territory here, back on Hubbard, which we were on earlier, a little bit further to the east. But if he makes a right turn back onto Whittier Boulevard, we now know that there are black and whites prepared to lay down a spike strip if they see the opportunity to safely do so. So with all of the busy traffic on these majors and these narrow side streets, a pit maneuver is less likely. But as he starts to do circles and make U-turns on the same surface streets, the possibility and likelihood of a spike strip really becomes.
I'm gonna make like a tulip,
appetizing for
like the fresh minty cake things. You put on the back of it. It's got Dan Crenshaw's face on it.
A few minutes ago, this is from.
So you can piss in Dan Crenshaw's eye pussy too.
Turn and came so close to those pedestrians.
Keep your toilet fresh.
There, fortunately, they were not hit, but the car.
No foul eye pussy up in here.
This is what we're talking about. This is, how these situations can get so dangerous so quickly. He makes a turn, it's dark, and there are people in the street.
Dancing in the street.
Wild left and right turns at various intersections, barely braking in some cases, and then a swerve.
He's been a pretty good driver so far, I do believe.
There, it puts everybody in danger. You just take your eye off the road for just a second as you're trying to run from law enforcement. Your adrenaline's going, and it doesn't take much, unfortunately. It just doesn't take much for somebody to get hurt. That's why these pursuits are so dangerous, and that's
why we love them. That's why we watch them.
Because when
if there wasn't danger,
so unpredictable, who is
would be fun to watch.
The road, erratic moves left and right. It poses a real.
I used to be into NASCAR, but that shit got boring. Now I'm into police chases.
That's why it's so important to keep an eye. If you live in the area, stay home. Keep your door.
Ram Ranch, what's going on, my friend?
How this is going to end as we navigate these various surface streets.
We're watching. This is Police Chase Classic.
We'll bail out of those vehicles. Next thing you know, they're in some.
This happened a few months ago.
Possibly running through someone's home. I've seen in the past where they've climbed onto people's roofs and have. Ended up.
We already found out what that news be doing today. We watched the Trump
what these people
town hall.
Where they're going to go. And
I love Skittles. Skittles are one of my favorite fucking candies.
That's right. I mean, just in the last couple of weeks, we've seen several pursuits that ended in random restaurants at different.
I always say my favorites are Reese Cup.
Lunchtime, you just run into a restaurant, hide out in a various, in any given commercial business. If they're open, you just try and look for a.
I'd probably go with Skittles second. I really like Skittles.
Patrons that are in danger, or in the case that you mentioned so many times, they run.
I like a dark chocolate Milky Way.
And
Like a Milky Way Night or whatever the fuck they're called. Those are really, that might be my third.
You just never know, and that's why these situations are.
But I also really like Paydays.
Him on Wilcox Avenue, which is a wide street that is a little bit less traveled. A few cars in the way.
I like an original Skittles, but the Wild Berry are good. They're very good.
Stays on Wilcox. Maybe you see with enough lanes to.
I really like M&Ms, and I'm like, what's everybody's favorite M&M? My favorite's peanut butter. I like a peanut butter M&M.
Get back onto the 60.
I like a peanut M&M. I like a regular M&M too. I like the little mini M&Ms.
For that pit maneuver. Right now, haven't seen any really clear opportunities, but those might be in front of us here as we get a little bit further away from the 60.
Talking about candies.
Now on just passing Gleason Street, you see much less traffic. This is a narrow road here, so you wouldn't see it on a residential street like this. But if he does find a...
Oh, man, you know what I really like? I like those Carmelo bars.
And he just...
With the caramel in the middle.
It wasn't an on-ramp right there, but...
Ooh, mini peanut butter M&Ms are amazing.
Right-hand turn. Maybe he's going to head back and try and find the...
Prometheus. They're better nuts.
Yeah, I mean,
if they're like, I'm a big fan of peanut butter and peanuts and shit, but like there are better nuts. I feel like if you're allergic to one specific nut,
very easy to get lost in these random.
At least it's peanuts. Oh, you're allergic to all nuts. That sucks.
A cul-de-sac or a dead end without even realizing it. You
love the word cul-de-sac.
You've now trapped yourself by making these random.
You played yourself.
Back on Reagan Street again, and this starts to raise the question of, we said earlier it appeared to be random when he got off the freeway in this part of town near Montebello here in the East LA area. Maybe he does know something about this neighborhood as he continues to find himself, or we continue to find ourselves here.
Law 3 Dog, what's up, my friend?
Exact street.
I'm not a pistachio guy.
A little bit more.
Curiouser got some pistachios the other day, and I'm like, I just can't get into them.
60 freeway in this part of town, and
they have a weird taste.
On the same streets. If these street names here near the
got some nuts for you.
Coming to a stop. Coming to a stop, and we'll see if that driver's side door pops open. We'll see why he stopped the vehicle, if he's going to run for it or start to surrender. Maybe the fuel tank is running low. It's a good sign, to say the least, that he's now stopped. Now we'll just see if he starts to cooperate and obey the commands of California.
Standoff territory.
Who are now stepping out of their vehicles, stepping out of their patrol cars with their guns drawn. They've got those spotlights on that driver's side of the vehicle. They're going to begin ordering him out of the vehicle, but right now you see that driver's side door still shut. The headlights are still on, so the vehicle is on, the ignition is engaged. He has just come to a pause here. We'll see if he cooperates or continues the pursuit.
Well, let's hope they could maybe get a spike strip ahead of him if he does decide to.
I think they taste exactly the same. Reese's Pieces and
with a couple of long
peanut butter M&Ms
and some handguns. Let's see what happens.
Yeah, 9 times out of 10, you're 100% right.
Reese's Pieces are a little more.
Situation like this, as he's been stopped.
They're a little softer, aren't they?
They'll have plenty of time to get on the other side of this street and set up for that spike strip. So he's somewhat boxed in. You get the feeling that this pursuit is coming to an end.
Can't bring me no peanut butter M&Ms.
To run, and that's a good sign.
Some cookies she made with peanut butter M&Ms.
Final minutes of freedom, as I suspected earlier, and hopefully we can only hope.
Sounds amazing. God, I'd love to have some cookies right now.
Those hands out the window, that's not a great sign. This now turns into a standoff. And without knowing how many other people are inside the vehicle or what the mental state.
Okay, so technically Reese's doesn't. If you want to know the secret, how you get the whipped shit in the
law enforcement
in the Reese cup,
may be armed with a handgun. So we're with that in mind, we're gonna.
So it's peanut butter.
Very, very cautiously. If he
there's some movement you could see in
powdered sugar.
Shield there. Looks
and
like other
melted butter whipped together.
Tinted, but
and that gives you like the inside of the Reese cup.
I noticed that too. You see some movement through the front windshield. We'll stay on this side here and keep this
I know this because I quite often just go in there and make that.
Some movement.
And then pour chocolate syrup on it and eat the shit out of it.
I think I might see a screen there, but still no cooperation here.
Yeah, instead of getting Reese cups, I just kind of make my own Reese cup goo.
For California Highway Patrol at the end of a pursuit where the driver is refusing to cooperate. We can only imagine what is going through the head of that suspect and what is going on.
You didn't bring me any of those cookies.
Certainly, the end of the pursuit is almost always the most.
That's what I'm sad at. She's so considerate.
Course of a pursuit, especially high-speed pursuits, where
when we did the pot run and she had to break the 20.
Still, there are always lives in danger. And
he got me donuts.
The end of the pursuit, where there are so many unknowns and so many variables, especially when there's a weapon involved, it's still a very,
they were like told like, because I was like, did she just get whatever is appropriate donuts?
We certainly don't know what they're dealing with. They may have a better idea of what this suspect.
Or did she get donuts specifically for me? It ended up being raspberry stuff. So I was like, she totally got them for me.
To cooperate.
She got a raspberry stuffed donut. She got a chocolate cream pie donut.
Which will likely come from the LA County Sheriff's Department.
And this is
that was like she was being considered of JustinFREAKIN.
That's in the southwest San Gabriel Valley. Where
it got 2 donuts I would love.
Right now, they're obviously ordering him to get out of the vehicle.
I would have been happy with any donut, whatever is appropriate.
That's what we were told. Possibly armed, which really
I believe I have, Mary Jane.
Crisis situation here because you just don't know what he's going to do. And what you want to see is the
lights keep
down, the hands out.
Oh, maybe that's not the light in the
they ask
interior coming on.
Out, lay face down on the ground with the hands behind him. But right now, we're not seeing that.
Yeah.
The good news
also to shut off the vehicle. One of the first things is to shut off the vehicle.
Yeah.
In many cases, you want to see them even drop the keys. But the vehicle is clearly still on. And now we see
I really should just be one of these helicopter guys.
Continues much longer.
Yeah, when I said chocolate cream pie, that's what I meant.
They might bring in a Bearcat, or they may bring in a canine unit to be ready to pounce here. They may decide to use less lethal weaponry to try and gas out the suspect. All kinds of
an apple fritter
at their disposal here, but that will all most likely come from the LA County Sheriff's Department once that call for backup.
I love gooey pastries.
California Highway Patrol at the end of this pursuit, but the longer this goes and turns into a standoff, it becomes a more
I'm so hungry.
Prolonged exercise.
Yeah. And
guys have had me talking about food.
Aren't going anywhere.
And snacks.
I don't know what he's.
I have no
maybe
snacks.
He's on the phone with someone right now. Maybe he's calling an attorney, which would probably be a good piece of advice for him. But yeah.
Yep.
Peace horn, you mean like bugles?
The backup coming in yet, whether that call has been placed or not. We can assume that it might have been, but certainly at this point, it almost looks like the same 4 or 5 units that are right behind them. Let's go ahead and take this opportunity to pan over to the opposite side.
He's going.
See if they have set up a spike strip. Brian, let's go ahead and see if there's...
Oh, like the sweet cheese...
It does appear that there are, and here comes a black and white going the opposite way. This is going to be a head-to-head situation here as they approach the other side of this block. It certainly appears plenty of gas in the tank here.
They didn't do anything.
Just like that, you think you're at the end of the chase, and now the pursuit is back on. Now you see the freeway.
I want donuts so bad now. It is impossible to get donuts at 11 o'clock.
He's looking for a chance to get back on the freeway so he could try and step on that gas
on a
pedal.
Wednesday.
He is not giving up easily. He had some time.
Well, I guess I could technically go to like fucking Walmart. They probably got donuts for this morning.
Not winning out here. He is still on the run here after what you.
Oh, I love coffee cake. Coffee cake is one of my absolute favorite things.
Boxed him in or set up for a spike strip. Exactly what we were talking about, Rob. They failed to do. They were not ready at the other end.
Talk now.
They may have their reasons for doing it, but in any event, he was able to slip right by that oncoming black and white. And
welcome. This is a chase from a few months ago. This is not live.
It really makes you wonder You know,
we're just enjoying some content, talking about pastries.
it's a missed opportunity. Exactly right. There are so many more lives that are in danger now than there were just 90 seconds ago when he was sitting still on that residential block. And now look at this. Wild left turns at high speeds through the red light there, turning off of Garfield onto Elmgate here on a not a well-lit street here, very residential, narrow roads where the suspect is picking up speed. Those same units.
I just love food.
Pursuit behind him, and we'll see what happens next. But that really
you subtract the
here, and I
pickled flavor profile, and then everything else I fucking love.
And who knows?
Can't go wrong.
Conditions there. Why they didn't put a spike strip in front of that vehicle? Maybe if the suspect is believed to be armed, you don't want to.
There's no good Thai place around here.
By putting him in.
I miss Pad Thai.
But even, you know, half a block away, it seems like they could have put a car or.
I'm filling for the buns.
Yeah.
Oh, filling for the buns.
Not a police officer. I don't know.
I was seeing business for some reason. I'm getting tired. I'm sorry. Prometheus, have I told you good evening?
Reason why they didn't do this.
Well, one of the problems here, and this is a great, look at this, a busy intersection there, cross traffic, did he make the right turn? Okay,
yeah.
He paused there, some heavy cross traffic, and now he's back on Garfield Avenue. We'll keep a close eye on this because I just get the feeling the driving is.
You can't go out and not get any food because of crime.
Another red light here, slowing down for the red light, but continuing on Garfield Avenue. And what I was about to say,
I've been in like the worst areas of the country, and
is the lead agency here.
I've never like felt unsafe, but I'm also a guy.
Say a prospective spike strip attempt or something like that to box them in at the end of the intersection.
I'm a guy with gigantic fucking balls, so.
Municipalities, in this case, LA County Sheriff's Department, would be the one to help out with that spike strip. But when they don't know,
my experience is different than a lot of other people's
sometimes
experience.
that cooperation can get. Sometimes, let's just say, communication could break down, or not necessarily break down, but communication and coordination can slow down, so that different supervisors are now in the kitchen together.
Fucking love apple fritters.
And trying to figure out what resources they're going to dedicate and what risks they are going to take to bring this to
I love a cobbler.
As the LA County Sheriff.
Hey, Curiouser, can we make a cobbler? It's cobbler season, isn't it?
They don't know what the charge is. They only know what they're being told by California Highway Patrol. And
make a peach cobbler.
Decision to make in terms of how much
blueberry cobbler.
Involved. As far as they know, this is a San Bernardino.
I know. I'm open. I'm open to suggestions.
Decision points and people making decisions that may have
You're
contributed.
gonna come over. We're gonna make cobbler, and we're gonna watch Overboard.
Time though, we see that speed's picking up here, 50 miles per hour. Again, down Wilcox.
Also getting soup season.
Avenue. Again, doing a circle in the same neighborhood where there are now officers not only behind him, but officers in front of him as well. And some of them may very well be LA County Sheriff's deputies, but
we're in a dark area now.
Continuing these circles in the same general part of town, which makes you wonder.
Hell yeah, soup season.
Here or, you know, just
soup. What's your favorite kind of soup?
Familiar with this neighborhood. Yeah, you just never know.
And we keep seeing him circle underneath the 60 freeway there, so you would think maybe he isn't interested in getting on the freeway because you'd be able to figure out some way to find an on-ramp.
That's right. And now, once again, back on empty Garfield Avenue. A little bit of traffic going the opposite way here, but if they see a straightaway without any oncoming traffic, he's going, you know, just a little too fast for that pit maneuver, but if he slows down, they could
do greater than soup.
He's done so many circles. He's been on Whittier Boulevard. He's been on Reagan Street. He's been on Garfield.
It's an apples to oranges thing.
At these various intersections for a possible spike strip, as we saw a little while ago.
I mean, don't get me wrong. I love a good beef stew.
Yeah.
Using that gas station likely to cut through here. Or is he going under there? Is he going?
You get your potatoes and your carrots. They're all falling apart and shit.
See, there's an opportunity for a pit.
Get you some big giant onions in there.
To nudge that vehicle. You know, it might have
cheddar broccoli, always a winner.
But
I like potatoes. I like potato cheddar broccoli. Like I combine two different soups.
Freeway,
I make like a cheddar broccoli potato.
as he is now back into a commercial area along Garfield Avenue, really amping things up here, and that just really makes me worry.
Let me tell you, Curiouser made this fucking white chili one time.
99-cent store
This chicken chili.
a little more.
I call it shit in the yard chili.
Just most likely looking for.
Because I shit in the yard when she made it.
Case.
I love clam chowder. Fucking love clam chowder.
Off of Garfield, coming around this Ford dealership here now again.
Ooh, I would love to learn some Puerto Rican soup recipes.
Back on the freeway.
Talk now.
So we'll look for an opportunity.
You on Discord? Can we do a recipe?
But no
Discord. Can somebody get on that? Maybe I'll do it.
The freeway. You'll notice, Rob, we've now been under this overpass on several occasions.
Yeah.
This one, as well as other neighboring underpasses. He is now crossed Pomona and continuing to kind of meander on the north and south side of the city.
Meander. I love the word meander.
This is going to end in a foot bail.
I meander a lot.
That's just a guess on my part.
Yeah, and he does seem to be, I don't know, like he's more herky-jerky in his driving right now.
Trying to figure out a place to make a run for it.
The gas station and the parking lot for the 99-cent store. It makes you wonder if he is getting a bit more antsy.
Do the herky-jerky and you turn yourself around.
Maybe preparing to bolt from that vehicle.
Yeah, I think you're right. And even though the driving,
I need a recipe section. Yes, Sue.
we see situations where he makes, an unpredictable move or a dangerous move where other traffic can't see him, whether he's blowing through
I like a tortilla soup.
stop sign or what have
Like
you.
the beans and rice and shit.
A tame pursuit to, as I mentioned before, a very dangerous pursuit where somebody could get hurt, whether it's cross traffic or a pedestrian, somebody walking.
Hell yeah, sock now.
Night. These are
Let me go
very
follow
residential
you.
neighborhoods that we are traversing here. Now 60 miles per hour, doing almost 20 miles plus over the speed limit down Garfield Avenue, where there is little traffic as he picks up steam here. 60 plus miles per hour.
Somebody shout sock out.
Is going to raise the.
You might be, well, Justin, did you not just follow them?
If the traffic.
Why didn't you do it? Because I'm fucking lazy. And I'm
pull
gonna
up
get
a little bit
hot.
closer behind him. Maybe apply a little.
Somebody should shout you out.
Enforcement both in front of him and behind him with limited.
Taking the headphones off.
But if he slows down, that's where they can maybe bring this to an end.
I got an arm hanging out now.
Show's over.
Huh. But again, on Garfield, there he is on Garfield. I don't know how many times we've seen him drive up and down Garfield Avenue.
DJ Dub.
Up and down, numerous times by my count. I've lost track, to be honest with you. Yeah, a lot of these street names, if they sound familiar, trust your instincts, because we have been here before, and he keeps making these really random turns. But I say random. He may not.
But he's got his arm out the window now. I don't know if he's flipping off officers or I don't know if you could see that, Chris, but.
Yeah,
somebody should do something.
Yeah, he may be more familiar with these roads than we're giving him credit for. One thing he hasn't done is trapped himself too much in any dark corners here. When I say dark corners, I mean like
Listen, the other day,
but in any event, he's
somebody listened to
towards Whittier Boulevard, heading back towards the freeway. I mean,
episodes of the Troll Patrol 700 and something times.
Here as we continue.
It's the most podcast listens I've ever had in a day.
I'm sorry.
And it wasn't like new episodes; it was old episodes.
We're bouncing so
kind of freaked me out.
Up and down the
kind of like Russian bot if I got going
direction
on.
here, but yeah, he is now.
I gotta pack another
Grand
one.
Ridge Avenue.
Oh my God!
The 60 freeway, and if he slows down a little,
damn!
I almost wonder if we may see an opportunity for that supervisor to feel more comfortable giving the go-ahead for that pit maneuver. We'll see here, but
I'm high already.
We thought we might see a spike strip at the pause there in that pursuit, but that didn't.
Not a conjure. I hope your trip went well.
Yeah, and that really.
That's all you did not take the exit for Justin.
Where he was stopped on a very narrow street, and there was an opportunity, you would think, to spike strip the car, blockade it, but. Yeah, after it seemed like 4 or 5 minutes, then he just pulled away.
I think the biggest
Not falling for that trap.
They have too many unknowns.
But you'll get there just in time.
The weapon.
Yeah.
The report of a weapon inside that vehicle, I think, is playing a big part of the calculus here, especially on the part of California Highway Patrol. They are much less likely, if at all, willing to pit a vehicle with a known weapon inside the vehicle. And again, I repeat, we really don't know how this all started.
Throwing at my joke, Prometheus.
Auto suspect who is possibly
That was good.
if they have confirmation of that weapon and confirmation of more serious crimes that have taken place here, again, as he comes back on to Garfield Avenue yet again, that will prevent them from executing a pit maneuver. However, we have seen a willingness to try the spike strip.
Yeah.
But the pit maneuvers.
Heard they don't let you drive on Garfield Avenue
we've seen a couple
on Mondays.
Possible opportunities. I just think that the weapon in that vehicle.
Why did I turn into this like dad joke?
The right-hand side of
fucking machine. What the fuck?
One of those opportunities where you see the spike strip thrown out.
That's never been my style.
To dodge it though.
Yeah, unfortunately.
We're going into a gas station now.
This might even be the same gas station.
Same Shell station,
just
I believe.
a few moments ago. Yeah.
Zero, what up?
Station, and he's cutting through again. Now, whether it's a coincidence that he's choosing the gas station or whether he's actually back underneath the 60 freeway here. Again, Garfield Avenue at the 60, traversing the same overpasses, or I should say underpasses, as he reverses course here. Back into that.
Trying to find hogs. I love pork. I love pork chops.
A little bit of speed,
I love sausage.
Refusing to pull over.
Bacon.
Use at 50 miles per hour in this stolen Nissan Murano. Again, to recap now, we are going.
They all come from the same animal, Dad.
90 minutes that this pursuit has been taking place.
Ooh, a magical animal.
We don't know exactly.
You know, did we have any chuds in here tonight?
Considering that this all.
Bagheera was in here, but Bagheera's a regular. Hey, Bagheera, you still hanging?
This is a lengthy pursuit, and law enforcement has yet at any point shown a willingness to just give it up. And the longer it goes and the more dangerous it becomes, I think the less.
You do put off some chud vibes, Prometheus.
This is going to end somehow, some way, with him
not a chud.
being taken into custody. But it's a matter of whether he gives up peacefully or by some other means they have to forcefully end this pursuit. We'll see how it ends. But you just hate to see it on these surface streets. Believe me, each and every one of these law enforcement officers.
Bagheera's here pretty often.
At this point, that he would just get back onto the freeway.
I feel like I've connected with Bagheera. Bagheera and Snappa
you just
are like the right wingers that will show up and hang out, and be cool.
To get involved, and there's more opportunity for him.
And like they'll usually only interject when like they agree with us.
Contained area where they can create traffic breaks, either behind him or in front of him or both. But at this point, as long as he's on surface streets, all bets are off. I think the knowledge of a weapon inside that vehicle, I believe, is playing.
Lechon? What is Lechon?
Other possibilities.
Fuck, what is it? I'm gonna have to look this. Oh God, we got a tire coming off.
Up that front left wheel, and that's gonna really bring.
Oh yeah. This chase is over now.
That tire rolling away from him.
We're just cruising along.
Just shredded on impact, and now it's a different situation. Now that front left wheel.
Ooh, roasted pig over. Oh fuck yeah.
Car likely.
Stock, I've had like a roasted pig over fire in Hawaii.
Avenue.
It's fucking amazing.
Clemente here in East LA.
And why'd I have to end behind the trees?
Black and whites.
Let's hope the helicopter can get over on the other side of the street and get us a better view.
I believe probably the end of this pursuit. We will see whether he tries to gas it and get away, or whether he
rear
has now
tires out
realized
too.
Brother, you ain't gonna gas it.
Both tires, you're right. That front left wheel is down to the rim, and
that wheel looks like it's shattered too.
Yeah,
that happened really quick.
He's been going up and down Garfield Avenue so many times. They had to know he was going to do it one more time, and they were waiting with that.
Zero, because there's always helicopters following them and shit. I think they show restraint.
Suspect was really establishing.
Like they know they're on TV.
To set for a spike strip. This was
LAPD is actually really good at car chases.
Well executed spike strip.
We've watched quite a few of them now.
effect, maybe even quicker than realized. I mean,
be fair, like they do a good job. They lay back when they should.
Now both left tires, at the very least, both left tires are gone essentially.
They only pursue when like they feel that it's safe.
You know, watch and wait here to see if he changes his behavior.
Mary J wants to keep me in line on this, but like I feel like they've all in all done pretty good on the chases we've watched.
Out the window, but maybe we'll see if he starts to cooperate or shows any signs.
Well, Chris, you know, aside from all the armed officers there, it's also a canine unit. You could see
that one day that dude got out and was
now he's kind of behind the sun
texting and then made phone calls and was just walking away from. I'm amazed he didn't get shot. That you can't tell me that wasn't fucking restraint. Because just as soon as he got out, I'm like, drop that fucking phone, dude.
He would have been called.
And I couldn't believe, like, he just acted like they weren't even there.
Puff of smoke in the.
I missed it. I got to be honest. I missed it. But that would explain a lot. That really jives with a lot of other pursuits that we cover. You see the joyride where the driver is just aimlessly trying to drag.
Yeah, pigs are smart. They're cute. They're really tasty.
And enjoy his final minutes of freedom, either taking a smoke or
enjoying his final minutes of freedom.
Hopefully giving up. Hopefully that relaxes him.
Well, smoke him if you got him, and now
smoke him if you got him. I still owe you a weed hit.
There's
a fucking tire going down the street. This is awesome.
And as you mentioned, Chris, it shut that car down fast because it got the front driver's side tire and the rear driver's side tire as well.
Yeah, and I can't speak for the right tires. It's a little bit, the shadow is a little bit too dark on the right side of the vehicle. I can't tell if those right tires have been impacted. But in any event, the vehicle has come to a halt. And look at this, some odd behavior here. A lot of very animated suspect now. That is, it looks like he's hitting either the dashboard or.
It might be dance moves. He may have music on in there.
He could be dancing.
My chain hits my neck when I'm banging on the dashboard. My chain hits my neck.
Double up on the driver's side of that car if we can. Not sure if we're already doubled in. We're already doubled in, so we'll see if we can. Yeah, it's harder to see because it actually takes away some of the light. So we have less light. We can punch in a little bit closer.
Who blocked you for too many stupid requests? What?
Whether he's dancing and enjoying this, or whether he's experiencing some type of a mental episode.
Yeah. It's dancing and enjoying this.
We've seen it all here in Southern California. I mean,
does look like it's rhythm.
It really is anybody's guess, but definitely.
The generational council. What's the generational council?
I dare say, perhaps.
He's totally dancing.
Yeah. Of something. Yeah.
Of something.
He's totally dancing.
But I don't know. I did see a puff of smoke about a minute or two ago, but.
Yeah. At times like this, you wish we had a boom mic on air.
I'm sorry, Zoc.
On there because it would probably be.
I'm sorry you got the munchies watching us. Talking about
but
food.
As entertaining and as fun as it appears as
he's dancing.
That vehicle. These are very tenuous moments for those officers who are right behind that stolen vehicle. So you just hope that he doesn't do anything too silly, and they will have.
Cops are not amused
here for this suspect. They will be able to clear the area. Hopefully they'll have more spike strips set up this time in the event that he does try and use the remaining wheels that he has.
What are you going to spike?
Continue the pursuit, although I don't think he'd get very far.
So he ain't going nowhere.
He was
even if he tries to go.
After he hit that spike strip, that front left tire tore apart so quickly that he was on nothing but rim.
Yeah. And the good news is, Chris, like we haven't seen any sign of anyone else in that vehicle.
Be rolling.
It's in there because the windows are tinted. But from our perspective up here, the only person we really make out in the vehicle is that driver.
It's a great point. It's a really good point. I think it's probably a safe bet just from our observation. Certainly, you know, anything's possible, but if I had to bet, I would say that you're right. I think this is a lone suspect inside the vehicle. Probably, I mean, I think it's just a safe bet. Let's put it that way.
It's just a safe bet.
Enjoying his final minutes of freedom. And usually when we see this, the next step, however long it may take, is usually a surrender. It's usually a surrender.
Usually.
Somebody that, at the very least, they could talk to, maybe talk some sense into as they make some announcements on the PA system on those patrol cars. You know, will they resort to calling a Bearcat in? Possibly. Will they put that canine to use if he keeps that window open? Possibly.
Don't let the dog jump in on him.
It's again, they've got tools at their disposal. Right now, it still appears to be mostly California Highway Patrol. In fact, let's go ahead while we have the opportunity here, Brian, and zoom in on some of these other patrol cars that have
yeah, CHP.
Yeah, all of these appear to be CHP. Yeah, all Highway Patrol. At some point, I venture to say, you will see, if not yet, you will eventually see San Bernardino probably be in the vicinity, but you see more bystanders back there, people with their cell phones catching a glimpse, trying to get this on their Instagram reel as soon as possible, always for a few new followers, but they are
wonder if he's taking pictures for the reel
as they try and safely bring the suspect into custody.
And, you know, we aren't seeing vehicles in front of this pursuit vehicle here. And a reason could be you don't want to put officers in any kind of crossfire should something happen.
That banner for a $5 hot and ready.
Yeah, it looks like they have fired a less lethal round.
Oh, God.
2 less lethal rounds into the vehicle. Now, what is it? We don't know. We don't want to speculate too much because it could be a few different things. Don't let the smoke fool you. It could be rubber bullets. It could be actual.
I'd say it was the bean bags.
And it could be something else. So we just don't know exactly what they're firing in there, but it appears to be less lethal rounds.
Everyone is a critic.
Into the driver's seat, and we'll see if that changes his behavior here. In many cases, especially if he is under the influence, he may sustain that. Well, there he goes. There it is.
It was a convincer.
Don't hit me no more.
Of getting him to open that driver's side door. And now look for that canine unit. If he does not put those hands in the air, you are about
Don't sick the dog on him.
10-10 go to town.
Yeah.
Let's see if he cooperates.
I see hands
Looks
on the
like
head.
he is now forced out of the vehicle. They've smoked him out. Hands out of the vehicle. At least one. Yeah, it looks like both hands now are visible.
He's got really tiny hands.
And hopefully,
Donald Trump hands.
Hopefully, is it a Rob, can you tell, is it a male or a female?
It appears to be a male waving to the choppers.
All right. Yeah, a male suspect who is.
Sure. Well, he's complying.
You probably are looking at a larger monitor than I am. Appears to be an older male, now stepping gingerly back towards the CHP. He is, I'm going to go out on a limb and say likely under the influence, but that's just a guess. It appears, though, fortunately, he is cooperating with these officers. This pursuit now coming to an end as they prepare to take him into custody. They will approach him.
They have like Birkenstocks on.
And now,
is it like a Bob Marley shirt?
Will be told.
Pink hair?
See, they have to now clear the vehicle. They will look inside.
Or is that just
there's nobody else?
Is that easy bald and
suspects or any innocent participants?
I'm just seeing the light off the head.
Their hands in just a moment for the code 4. And this pursuit certainly appears to be all over.
Yeah, good news. When you see that suspect in cuffs, yeah, that looks, let's see.
Yeah, this one is a wrap, and good news because really
my vision's really bad too, I've been told.
What we were saying earlier, I just get the feeling that this driver been as competent as we were imagining. You know, we saw him driving a little recklessly, a lot of erratic moves, occasionally, you know, going a little too fast, but I really wonder about his sobriety at this point, and that certainly really could have gotten somebody hurt had this pursuit continued much longer. But they saw their opportunity. He was establishing a very clear pattern, providing the perfect opportunity for a well-executed spike strip, and that's exactly
well-executed spike strip.
Immediately, that vehicle coming to a stop, and this pursuit coming to an end.
Well, yeah, it was a good hour and a half at least, as you mentioned before, and it shows that patience does pay off. These officers, they kept their patience. They stayed on his tail safely. They didn't do anything, reckless. There was a point where it looked like he may have been pulled over and could have been pinned in, but it all played out nicely right now.
Yep, I think all's well that ends well here. We didn't see anybody get hurt. We didn't even see any traffic collisions. A couple of close calls maybe, but for the most part, that's about it. And again, my guess is that he will likely be heading back to the Inland Empire to face whatever charges have stacked up against.
What kind of music you think he was listening to?
Chris, thanks so much. We're going to put a period on the end of this sentence. I'm
going to guess EDM.
Our pursuit coverage ending North Garfield Avenue and Via San Clemente in the southwest San Gabriel Valley.
Dubstep or something.
Regular streaming programming.
Classic chase for the night. I guess the bear video, the bear almost getting the kid, doesn't count as an animal video, does it? Listen to the Grateful Dead is what you think, Flash. I don't think so. Spice Up Your Life. The Spice Girls? Is that who that's by? Bear video doesn't count as animal video, even though the bear almost ate the kid. That was awesome. So, how about Puppy Bus birthday party?
This just in, we got a very special announcement to make.
Duh, Bears.
We got a special birthday on the bus. Who could be the birthday girl? Who could it be? It is Lola's second birthday today. Happy birthday, good girl. And to celebrate, Lola's mom made some cupcakes.
Oh.
Sunday, it is Slade's first birthday. So, happy birthday to him as well. All right, Lola, you will get yours first.
Night, clinically.
These must smell really good. Easy, girl.
What are they, like peanut butter and zucchini or something?
All right, Trooper, here's your birthday cupcake.
What are pupcakes made out of?
There you go. Mrs. Bama.
Bama. Bama been an OG.
Mr. Wesson. And the beautiful Mika.
Look, Mika is gorgeous. My God.
I think Bert is ready for a cupcake. Here you go, Bert.
Oh, Bert.
Puddles of drool just falling down.
I imagine they have to clean the drool up on the bus daily.
Happy birthday, Lola. Thank you for the birthday treats. They definitely were a hit.
Oh, look how precious. I think Lola had a good birthday.
Thank you for riding with Mo Mountain Mutts. A special birthday on the bus. Who could be the birthday girl? Who could it be? It is Lola's second birthday today. Happy birthday, good girl. And to celebrate, Lola's mom made some cupcakes.
What's in the pupcake, though?
also on Sunday, it is Slade's.
I guess they could be like flour based, can't they?
To him as well.
Can't have chocolate.
All right, Lola, you will get yours first. Oh man, these must smell really good. Easy, girl.
I gotta look up a cupcake recipe.
All right, Trooper, here's your birthday cupcake. And it's gone. Mr. Slade, there you go.
Flour, baking powder, honey, bananas, egg, oil, water, peanut butter.
Bama.
It was banana, not
And Mr. Wesson.
zucchini. I knew it would be something like that.
And the beautiful Mika.
It sounds really nutritious, actually.
Bert is ready for a cupcake. Here you go, Bert. Puddles of drool just falling down.
That's probably like better for them than a lot of things you can give them.
Waiting so patiently. Here you go, good boy. Happy birthday, Lola. Thank you for the birthday treats.
Sweet babies.
Definitely were a hit.
Oh, I didn't even pick anybody out to raid yet.
Hey, girl. Who could it be? It is Lola's second birthday today. Happy birthday, good girl. And to celebrate,
Intellectual Dollar
Lola's
Tree
mom
night.
made some cupcakes.
T-minus, good evening.
And also on Sunday, it is Slade's first birthday. So, happy birthday to him as well.
Oh, is Dave not on yet?
All right, Lola, you will get yours first. Oh, man. These must smell really good.
Time right.
Easy, girl.
It's Wednesday, isn't it? IDT's at 8, I thought.
All right, Trooper. Here's your birthday cupcake.
Oh.
And it's gone. Mr. Slade. There you go. Mrs. Bama. And Mr. Wesson. And the beautiful Mika.
Tinfoil. You're watching on Twitch. Heading over to Time for Tinfoil.
I think Bert is.
I could have sworn fucking.
Here you go, Bert.
On Thursday nights, it's at midnight. Wednesday nights, it was 11. My time. Go ahead, light one up, tip one back. It's alright to have a little fun before you hit the sack.
Here you go, good boy.
I'm JustinFREAKIN. We'll see you tomorrow night on the Troll Patrol.
Happy birthday,
Live.
Thank you for the birthday treats. They definitely were a hit.
You know, the Vatican and the CIA and
JustinFREAKIN! Thank you for the raid! We're watching a cult. These two are in a cult. I don't know what the name of the cult is. I don't know if it even specifically has a name. I've been just calling it the King Smarty cult, because that's this guy. He's a very dumb guy. He calls himself smart. Constantly lies, and he says some of the dumbest shit you ever heard. And we looked at his Telegram, and he's very anti-Semitic. Sue is a weird, like, new age, like, business manager type. She's like, she works on, like, spiritual expos and stuff. She's pretending to be just a, like, independent, like, podcast YouTube interview channel, but she's always talking to King Smarty. She's pretending not to be part of the cult, but she clearly is. I think she's running it, actually. And this is a guy named David Keith Quigley who wrote a stupid book called Missing Stolen Identity, who claims he's the real JFK Jr. And he's a very bad liar.
it's huge.
Oh, King Smarty sells magic stickers that are supposed to make your car 100% efficient, and you can tell because steam comes out the exhaust pipe. And he also invented something called holotech, which is just a JPEG image in a circle that you print out, you laminate it, and then you use it as a coaster, and it can cure any disease you can think of. There's a, you know what? Just to let everybody know, let's see. Smarties Corner.